execution.
You're listening to a Good Karma Brands radio station, 100.5 ESPN, WTLX, Monona, Madison.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good morning, Madison. I'm Ryan Wollersheim, and this is your Sports Center update brought to you by Ho Chunk Gaming Madison, home of smoke-free slots and the highest payout percentage in the area. Ho Chunk Gaming Madison, more spins, more wins, more fun. But not so much fun for the Milwaukee Bucks as they fell on the road last night to the Trailblazers, 125-112 out in Portland. Giannis Antetokounmpo led the team with 39 points and 12 rebounds, actually scored 16 points and not missed a field goal in the first quarter. Yet the Bucks falling for their third game in 4 nights out on their West Coast trip. They'll wrap that up this Friday when they take on the San Antonio Spurs down in Texas. Then last night, Marquette beating unranked Butler 78-69. They trailed 7 at halftime, but were able to come back and get the win on the road. They'll be hosting UConn at Fiserv on Saturday. And then tonight, Wisconsin basketball action, taking on Maryland on the road as well out there on the East Coast. Badgers have won 8 of their last 9 games, but they're 5.5-point underdogs against the Terps out there in the Crab State. Make sure to head over to ESPNWisconsin.com for all your bracketology updates leading up to March Madness.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or MetroKiaofMadison.com. 3-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year, Jason Wilde.
Is there anything anybody loves more than agreeing with Tausch?
Packers Hall of Famer, Mark Tauscher.
I got a hunch this isn't going to be concise either.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio.
I would say that you are pretty easygoing. You're actually probably more easygoing than I am.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Well, you're not easygoing at all.
Hey!
On 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
It is the Wednesday edition. I think tyrant is a strong word, but I got 2 different texts yesterday after the story of riding with Tausch. Both of them used the same word, edition. They also said they don't want to ride with you. But hey, everyone has different policies in their vehicles, edition. It continues to take a village to replace or fill in for or cousin sub for Jesse Nelson, edition. The Big Mike is available. Can't wait for his weekly appearances on Wilde and Tausch, edition. And speaking of weekly appearances, the Bryan Bulaga scheduled to appear, and Uncle Homer, who said something that is drawing ire on social media, but I'm pretty sure, in typical Homer fashion, it was true, and then he took it a bridge too far, edition. Of Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, 100.5 ESPN Madison, 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam, ESPNWisconsin.com, the ESPN app, your Alexa smart speaker, streaming live video, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and of course, everything you need on WisconsinOnDemand.com and the Wisconsin On Demand app. I'm Jason Wilde in Green Bay. Today's producer du jour, that's the producer of the day, and our cousin sub of the day, cousin subs, we believe him better. It is the sommelier. I don't like Wooly.
Nobody does.
I like the person. I don't like the nickname. It is Ryan Wollersheim in the Everlight Solar ESPN Madison studios. Hi, Wooly.
Good morning, Jason. Should cousin subs actually consider putting a sandwich on the menu, producer du jour? The producer du jour.
Maybe a soup.
A soup du jour? Is that like a Jesse Nelson, like a chowder? What do you think?
Is soup a meal? Because he's had one with Mike, the wedding DJ. And from his undisclosed location, he is the Packers Hall of Famer. He is the guy you want to ride with when you're in Dallas or in Tulsa. He is Mark Tauscher. Tausch, good morning. How are you?
I'm good. Explain. So, tyrant was the word that you...
Tyrant. Well, you said it. You said tyrannical at one point. So
I did.
subliminally, I think it got into folks' heads. But you're a lovable character. These folks that texted me, they both listen every day. Extremely supportive of the show. I don't think either one of them has ever played trivia. But between the potty rules that I know you've relaxed them, but then putting your buddy's business on the street for his failings as a navigator and radio doctor, it did not necessarily shine the greatest light on you as a travel companion. That's all.
How so? I mean, I am who I am.
Well, one of the questions was, are you like that as a passenger to other drivers?
How so?
Like if a driver
directions and
stop to go to the restroom, are you preventing them even though they're the driver? The other question was when you're a passenger, are you an effective navigator? They also, at least one of them, thought, how do you not just plug that into the car and have the map right up there on the screen so both you and your friend can do it?
How many times do I have to explain that the radio monitor was not working? Do I have to go over this again and again with people?
Well, was it not? Working? You blamed, what was your buddy's name again?
Bartsky.
You blamed Bartsky for breaking the radio. Are you now correcting the record and saying that you got a vehicle that was, in fact, already had a broken display?
I don't know all of the ins and outs of it. So when I'm a passenger, I prefer being Ubered. I don't love sitting shoddy.
Okay.
Matter of fact, there have been times that I have not sat shoddy with Keith Williams when we went up to Jesse Nelson's wedding.
With no one else in the vehicle?
It's more comfortable. I'm a bigger guy. It's a little more comfortable.
Sure.
And then there's waters. There's TV back there. Will I help with navigation if necessary?
Who are you riding with?
Style. I like.
Apparently.
You can have your phone. No, you can have your phone. It's rude if I'm sitting front seat with my phone watching this new show Diplomat on Netflix I've gotten into. Great little program.
Sure. Okay.
So what kind of car passenger am I? I'm what you need. You want me to leave you alone? I will. I will leave you alone. You need me to run the radio? I'll run the radio. You need me to spur conversation? I'll spur conversation. What I've found
at your service
is most people in today's day and age, outside of the driver, want to be on their devices and left alone. That's what I've noticed as my kids have gotten older, and as Bart and his kid, it's just get me from point A to point B. I prefer driving. Matter of fact, when we do every other year we do a summer trip to a national park with my brother, his family.
Mm-hmm.
We will do that again this year. I will do the Lions, if not all of the driving. And it was funny because Sarah and I met out with some people last night for dinner, and as we got home, driving home, a text to both Sarah and myself from Helmut read, and I quote, "Boy, that direction story certainly hit home." So he is also on Team Bart, and there's nobody more loyal than old boy to me. He is the gold standard of loyalty.
He's literally sat in that seat.
Yes, many times, and he is very upfront about it. And he also wanted to correct the record and said that he is the Kansas City Chiefs of navigation, not I. I have never said I'm a good navigator. Ever have I brought that up. So this is one of those times where I think after you listen, man, I am going to put my stuff out there. That is, of course, within reason. My life
and Bartski's stuff as well.
I am going to give you a diary of my life up to a certain point on this show.
Yep. We appreciate
and there are
that.
times that it is reflective good. There are times like this instance,
Which would you say
maybe
this
it's not
was?
the best reflection. And when that happens, I have to evaluate. I love being coached. It's one thing I miss a lot from a football standpoint. It's good for you as a person. My kids get sick of me coaching them. Dad, bleh. All right, fair, I get it. I can use coaching. I need help. I have learned through this process that as a driver, I expect certain things. Do I lower my standards and say I'm not expecting anyone to do anything to help? That doesn't seem very healthy. Do I push too hard and have too high of standards for not missing turns and getting off on different gas station exits? I think I need to rein in some of my driving habits. That's what I've learned.
And demands, yes. All right. Well, I wanted to get that out of the way because it was a great story yesterday. Did you get any feedback from Bartsky on how he felt he was depicted, and if he got any feedback?
He thought there was some hype. I took some
Liberties.
gratuitous. What's the word I'm looking for? I took some liberties.
Yeah.
And maybe expounded more than
exaggerated a little.
He felt like there was maybe a little hyperbole. But we had dinner with Cripsies last night, and Cripsy and we have done many road trips hockey-wise too.
Sure. Uh-huh.
And the good doctor that saves lives, Dr. Kelm.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be honest with you.
Their team.
Nothing but rave reviews from those two. So I don't have many people in my court.
Rave reviews for the story or rave reviews for riding with you?
Riding. In fairness, I rode as a passenger, not the driver. So trivia games and snacks brought.
That's a totally different category.
But it's
you just got done
similar.
Saying you and Dick Bennett, servant leadership. That's you as a passenger. Whatever you need, I'm there for you. You need silence,
so
I'll give it to you. You need games, I'll give it to you. So of course
So
you're
I
a great
think-
passenger. It's as a driver
Is
that
it
you
possible?
suck.
Is it possible? Just like I had to ban my wife from the oven when she had too many fires.
I'm not sure you had to ban her. You chose to ban her.
No, she needed it. She's improved. We have not had any major issues.
Always
since.
coaching. Always coaching.
Yes, gotta help. Should I give myself a 2-month ban on any long road trip that either Sarah and or Bart or whomever within this hockey season ends middle of March? Do I ban myself? Do I give myself probation from driving?
It would be an incredibly selfless act. And then the bonus would be not only would these nice people not have to ride with a tyrant, but on top of it, they would get the Kansas City Chiefs of passengers because of everything you bring to the table with your servant leadership style of being a passenger. It's a win for literally everyone, except maybe you with your desire to maybe control the drive. Like Bobby Portis teaches us.
I don't know about all of that. What I will say is it's incredibly selfish to do the ban because I should be driving, because I'm a
I'm
a
an
really
excellent
good driver.
Yeah,
I am.
Yes, you Rain Man. All right,
And then I'm also going to lean on people that maybe don't want me to ride with them in their car. I mean, that's another problem here. So there are issues at play outside of my own probationary skills.
Maybe if you would just,
or
maybe
should I
not
just
a
stop
total
being
ban.
a jerk as
Well,
a driver? Is that kind of where we're at?
Well, you obviously you don't mean that. You wouldn't say that you're a jerk. You just have high expectations, and you're demanding. You're not a jerk. That's what you said.
That's
earlier.
how I view it. That's not how I'm being viewed.
I would say this. I would say, almost like a pitcher that you only really want to use, like a closer almost. You just want to use them in certain situations. You're not. We don't want you to be a miles or an innings eater. We want you for the most important drives. Say the roads are icy or whatever else. We want your expertise. That will take, or really long distances where Sarah or some of the other moms or dads with hockey don't want to make the drive. I think maybe there are some windows of opportunity for you to offer to be a passenger on some less critical drives, and that might be a win for everyone.
Okay.
Have you ever ridden with Bulaga?
I'm sure.
Does he have any experience
in the same car?
with being
I
in
don't
the
think
vehicle with you?
anything to the degree of this. No.
Okay. I want to get to him on time today, and I want to make sure we talk about something that really got my attention when you sent it. Like, not that your other texts don't, and this is someone else's fight that they put on social media about the types of players the Packers have on their roster. I thought this was really, really interesting, so I want to make sure that person gets credit, and I want to make sure that we discuss it before we bring on Brian, because I want to ask him about it. We will talk about that coming up after Tausch tells us about Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
I still feel like this month, I know people are saying January is always one of those long months. I've had a great time with the month of January. And you know what? If you are having some rough days, it's been cold, it's warming up. Well, you're suffering from seasonal affective disorder. There's plenty of gray and frigid days. Oh, my gosh. We just want to be snugly and warm at our house. Well, Pella will make your home as beautiful on the outside as it is comfortable on the inside. Celebrate the new year with 0 interest for up to 3 years at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. But hurry up. You only have 2 more days. So visit PellaWI.com today to learn more. Certain restrictions do apply. Wooly, again, I don't want to be too demanding because I've been.
Boy.
Don't put up something to distract me as I'm reading my copy because I love being distracted.
Oh, I know.
You fired up what probably is a really good carbus. Here we go.
Okay, if you're going to read it, though,
he's reading it to
you
himself.
Gotta read it. You can't read it to yourself. You got to read it out loud. Would you like me to handle that?
Jim in the Berg basically said, I bring snacks on in the car. Do I expect my passengers to do that? No, I don't. I do not expect my passengers to do that.
Proper spelling on Bartsky before I tweet this. S-K-Y or S-K-I?
Well, his name's Bart. I call him Bartsky, but I think if you go S-K-I-E is probably the way I would go.
Oh, wow. I didn't even have that as an option. Okay, good. We'll get that question ready, and then we'll get ready for Brian Bulaga. Here's the question that I wanted to ask, so you could start thinking about it and respond via the Carbless talk and text line, 844-770-3776, 844-770-3776. Now, I can't quote Jay Wall on Twitter in full because he uses some words that would get us in trouble with the FCC. But do the Packers have enough bad guys, mean guys? You need high character guys on your team, but you also need blank you guys. Let's go. I self-censored. Let's go find some of those. I think there's a couple on their team. Do they have enough? We'll address it next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Mark Tauscher here for Pizza Hut, which you know I've loved going way back to when I was a kid participating in the legendary Book It program. And now here's a question. Do you get pizza or do you like wings? Well, at Pizza Hut, there's only one right answer. Both. Introducing Pizza Hut's original stuffed crust and wings bundle. Large one-topping stuffed crust pizza and 16 boneless wings with 2 dips, and it's all for just $19.99. Pizza Hut is home to the original stuffed crust pizza, topped and stuffed with over a half pound of delicious, melty cheese, and Pizza Hut's boneless wings. They are kitchen-fried and not oven-dried, sauced and tossed to perfection, and delivered hot directly to you. Pizza and wings or wings and pizza? The best deals have both. The unbeatable value of the stuffed crust and wings bundle is perfect to feed the whole crew on game day, family night, or any gathering. Order on the app or order online at pizzahut.com. The stuffed crust and wings bundle, only at Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Panic strikes as you realize on Wednesday that Thursday is your anniversary. The reservations being secured.
We'll see you at 8.
The gift being purchased. Yeah, you've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with early pay up to 2 days early on direct deposits. So even though they call you Last Minute Lisa, we'll make your last minute scrambling a bit easier. You've got this with early pay from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
Mark Tauscher here for Chalmers Jewelers. I've been a big fan of Scott and Garrett and the whole team at Chalmers Jewelers for years now. I go there, my friends go there, and most importantly, my wife loves it whenever I get her something from Chalmers Jewelers. The holiday season may be over, but that means Valentine's Day is approaching. It doesn't matter the occasion, birthdays, anniversaries, holidays, or if you're in the doghouse, or if you want to stay out of it, I recommend Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton and in Madison.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison.
Looking for the most popular answer. What's the worst thing about Wisconsin winters? Gina Della from Pella.
Finding a sitter when snow closes school. Yay! It's the time of the year when we just want to be all warm and snuggly at home. And Pella helps make your home as beautiful on the outside as it is comfortable on the inside. With inviting doors to let friends and family in and beautiful energy-efficient windows to keep the cold out. Celebrate the new year with 0% interest for up to 3 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply.
All right, fellas, let's tackle the age-old question. What do I get her for Valentine's Day? Don't stress. Send foolproof flowers from the Books Company and wow your Valentine. And get 25% off your entire purchase. Books makes it simple. Choose the Quickie Book. With a click of a button, get their best-selling bouquet right on time for Valentine's Day. She'll brag about it for weeks. Or pick from their collection of unique modern designs or go for their flower subscription, the #1 husband life hack, and be the hero every month. You really can't go wrong. Books aren't just any flowers. Their flowers are cut fresh from where they grow best. So you get bigger, brighter blooms that last longer. Some are even grown on the side of a volcano. She'll be blown away by how stunning they are. Valentine's Day is February 14th, right after the big game, so don't fumble the flowers. Get your order in now. Go to Books.com, use my promo code Canty for 25% off. That's BOUQS.com, promo code Canty. Books, promo code Canty.
Ben Brust here to tell you about the Princeton Club. I joined the Princeton Club because I was looking for a place I could invest in my health, and the environment and the community I have felt has made it so easy for me to incorporate it into my everyday life. It doesn't matter where you're at in your fitness journey because they have something to offer everyone. It also goes beyond fitness. From the moment you walk in the club to the moment you walk out, there is a togetherness felt throughout the members and staff that keeps you going for your better tomorrow. Don't wait any longer and get started on your fitness journey today at PrincetonClub.net. That's PrincetonClub.net.
We're on the Packers.
For me, the next year, this upcoming year,
because we're on Wisconsin sports.
It's when I'm judging Jordan Love on a lot of things.
Nobody covers the green and gold like 100.5 ESPN.
Hesitate to break down the garden gate. There's not much time left today. Life is a highway. I wanna ride it all night long.
From the YouTube chat, which you can join on our ESPN Milwaukee or ESPN Madison YouTube channels. The Madison chat much busier today. Tumbleweeds floating through the Milwaukee chat, even though there's a lot of people watching there. Daniel,
have we established leaders? Since you have, I give you a lot of credit. You have jumped into this YouTube, the dwellers and everything else. You've jumped in head first on both. They start their own show, and sometimes they'll throw you ideas that you bring to the show. I love it. Have we established like you know how there's a leadership council that
sure,
I was fortunate to be a part of for a few years?
Mm-hmm.
Is there leadership on both sides of that?
Well, there's a little bit of a Lord of the Flies type vibe in there too. Just in terms of, there's some sketchy characters that command a lot of attention that maybe try to control the narrative.
Greasy or the squeaky wheel type deal.
No, more
throw him some oil.
More the blank and jerk type deal, which maybe the Packers need more of. We'll get to that in a second.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You need all kinds.
But Daniel in the live chat on the ESPN Madison channel, and by the way, Jared, some like to call him Gériad, the French correspondent, who actually there's a story behind why Jared is spelled the way it is, because, well, I'm interested in people's stories, he's kind of the leader, the ringleader in there. The Klinkster sometimes swings by. But look, this is what a producer's like right here. No offense, I hope Jesse's not listening on his cruise. But I bring up this comment.
Come on.
And Wooly, the sommelier, as I like to call him, Ryan Wollersheim, our cousin sub of the day, goes into the chat, copies it, and gets it posted for everyone to see. That is production value right there.
Well done.
Look, what can I say? I pay attention to the YouTube comments as well. And I will say, speaking of Jesse Nelson today, they've not been very nice to Jesse. Which is, speaking of Lord of the Flies, seems like Jesse might be on the bottom of the totem pole.
Jesse is very rude to them, though, too.
Fair.
Disrespected.
Okay,
yeah.
Good point.
Very disrespectful to the YouTubers.
So Daniel says, Old T on road trips is just like Matt LaFleur. Standards over feelings. He calls it like he sees it. So there you go. Daniel's on your side.
All right.
Matt LaFleur says standards over feelings. I'd be curious if he always follows that, or...
LaFleur's a feelings guy.
See, that's why we get along so well. All right, so speaking of feelings, we want someone who's more of a jerk. So, again, I brought this up. This is not my original idea. Jay Wall gets credit for this on Twitter. It appears he follows me, so hopefully he's a avid listener to the program. Have the Packers ever been the bad guys, the mean guys? Do they have enough blank you guys? So I tell this story often. There are very few players in the locker room who I've ever been legitimately afraid of. But my first year, Wayne Simmons, R.I.P., I was afraid of him. I was afraid to talk to him. He was intimidating and unfriendly and a badass on the field. I mean, and opponents were afraid of him too. And he had value. You asked Chewy, there was value to that on the team. I would be curious, Tausch, from your 11 years, and then from when you look at this team, and then it can lead into our conversation with Brian. Like, Brian's a really nice guy, but did he flip a switch? Did you flip a switch? Because I don't know if I can think of a whole lot of guys that would fit that category. Like even Keyshawn Nixon, who kind of feels like a dog, and you see him get into it with opponents. I'm not sure that he's authentically a bad guy. I think he's a guy that gets on the field and turns the switch. Does that make sense? And who springs to mind for you that maybe was able to do that? City?
I'm not looking at it from being a bad guy. I'm looking at it from being a no-nonsense, I am not taking any blank from anybody.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's more. Now, Wayne Simmons, I heard the same stories. He definitely was another layer, another notch above, I think, anyone I played with. There were guys that the intensity ratcheted up. Mike Wall, I think, is a great example for me. He helped set a tone. Obviously, a great player. He set a tone for our group.
Mm-hmm.
And I think just from our whole offensive identity, when we had those 2 or 3 years of great running the football with Amon, I think Mike Wall set the tone. I mean, he pulled 5 million times. We ran 96 power, I probably 700 or 800 times. And he was the catalyst, and he didn't take any blank from anybody. And I think most people, if you just catch up with him, he's a nice guy off the field, but he also had that, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And I think Josh Sitton's another guy who, City's one of my best buddies. He is, he's somebody that he's a little bit, he'll go out there now and he'll challenge people, and he is as open of a book. He's not crazy, but he's going to push the envelope. That's what we're talking about. And I don't know who on this roster does that at this point now. And I think there's always guys. you have to be careful because if you have more than one, it can spiral the other way. I want that to be someone that will jump in and interject. I don't want that to be the premise of my football team. I want Reggie White and Leroy Butler, great players, leading it. And then when I need to bully ball the San Francisco 49ers and their tight ends to thinking, I don't want any part of going over the middle or out here, I want someone like Wayne Simmons that's going to rip your head off.
Right.
That's what I'm looking for. I don't want a head ripper off for every game to be that's it. I want him to be there and be known, but I want great players to be the leaders of our groups.
So if you're watching on YouTube, you saw me digging around here in the radio studio. I was listening to every word Tausch said, and it was great analysis. Fantastic.
Stop, dude.
Really insightful.
Just
so thankful.
I just want you listening. Okay, you're annoying.
So how about this guy? So this is Marco Rivera, one of my prized possessions. This autographed photo, which I bought at a Goodwill for like $3.
That was in the Hall of Fame. The next year we went to the Hall of Fame game.
Photo, and his fist is on this defensive lineman's face.
Yeah,
you see that
awesome.
there? From the Buccaneers, 96 for the Bucks. He was one of those guys.
Only thing would have been better if it was 99, am I right?
You are right, indeed. He was definitely one of those guys, especially when you were coming up,
well, so
right?
Marco, I'm going to tell you this, though. Marco, probably, one of my favorite teammates, one of the best leaders, even-keeled dude, but was feisty when he was on the playing field. That's a great picture because he was the guy that everybody admired because MCL, shoulder, didn't matter what was wrong with him.
He was playing.
He was out there.
Yeah.
You knew he was about the team, and that's why he was a great leader.
All right, we need to get to Brian Bulaga because I do want to ask him about this as well. And we'll take via the Carbless talk and text line 844-770-3776 the guys that you think fit that persona.
I'm trying to think who would be that guy.
I've seen
a
few
people
mention
Guyon was that guy back in the day, wasn't he?
and an outstanding guard in a pinch. I got so much grief for bringing that up on Sunday Karma because there were many on the panel who thought that was an obscure reference. I felt like in an NFC Championship game when the defensive lineman is having to play guard, that was a pretty memorable. Him and Ladarius Gunter trying to cover Julio Jones summed up that game.
Yeah.
I've seen a few both in the YouTube comments and on Twitter. Sean Ryan. I will say this. Sean Ryan, and I know you don't like hyperbole, but in my 29 seasons, he is the number one user of the F word in interviews. It's to the point where we have to, when we transcribe him, we bold all the F words. So if you are using that quote in your story, they jump out at you so you don't accidentally leave them in your copy when you file it. He is the FU leader in Packers history during my time covering the team. Like it's every fifth or sixth word.
He plays with a good edge, too.
Yeah.
He plays with
so
a good edge.
He's one of the folks that have gotten votes. You could get in on the conversation, whether you want to be in the YouTube comments. You got to subscribe, like Tausch claims he has, to the ESPN Milwaukee or ESPN Madison YouTube channels, or you can text us on the Carbless talk and text line 844-770-3776. Carbless, Liss is more. Tausch, speaking of more or Liss, that leads us right into Prize Picks.
Pretty good little transition there from Jason. Prize Picks, it is the best place to get real money sports action. Over 10 million members, billions of dollars in awarded winnings. Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible. Everybody pick more or less on at least two players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. You can run your game all season long on Prize Picks. And the big game, it is almost here, and it's now or never. Don't miss out on the last football game of the season with Prize Picks, the best place to win cash while watching the big game. Prize Picks is also giving away a free, and I air quote, free pick for the big game, as we air quote, where one of the starting quarterbacks will only need to throw 1 yard to win. 1 yard! Pretty sure both Hurts and or Mahomes will do that. If you're correct on at least one more stat projection, you can win real cash. So check out the promos tab for the Super Sweat Millie winners big game lineups. If you tail a lineup that goes 3 for 3, you can split. You can win a split of the $1 million in promo funds. Wow, PrizePicks doing it all for the big game. Download the app today. Use code WI to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Again, that's code WI to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Again, that big game, a lot of big deals going on at the big game at PrizePicks. PrizePicks.
Run
your
game.
Big game.
Wow.
Run your big game. The big fella, Bryan Bulaga, joins us next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Welcome to the 2025 NFL Draft on ESPN Radio.
The NFL Draft is now underway.
Live from historic Lambeau Field in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
With the first pick.
Thursday, April 24th on ESPN Radio, ESPN, and on ABC.
Hey, it's Jesse Nelson from Madison Weight Loss, the program that I experienced last year from the middle of August to the middle of October. And over 60 days, I was able to drop 40 pounds of unnecessary, unwanted fat simply by changing my diet. No surgeries, no injections, no intense workout regimens. All it was the natural, healthy approach to weight loss, just changing what I eat. 40 pounds I was able to drop thanks to the team and the expert coaching and guidance with Madison Weight Loss. And now this week, my wife Becca and I are out on a cruise, and I'm feeling good, I'm living good, and it's all thanks to Madison Weight Loss. I'm able to fit into clothes I couldn't even fit into 6 years ago, the last time we went on a big tropical vacation. This is amazing, and it's all thanks to Madison Weight Loss. Schedule a free consultation in person or virtually at MadisonWeightLoss.com and see how they can help you achieve your weight loss goals. I understand the turn of the year, everyone sets their weight loss goals, and you might be already struggling to try and achieve them. Contact the team. Trust me, it really works. MadisonWeightLoss.com. Results may vary.
As a bull rider, I prefer to do things single-handedly. That's why I love the UW Credit Union app. Doggy! It lets me check accounts, make transfers and more on the go. And if I need an extra hand, UW Credit Union has convenient local branches. Yippee! So, if you want simple mobile banking, mosey on over to UW Credit Union. They're here for every y'all. Federally insured by NCUA.
American Family Insurance is a lot like Captain America. He protects the world.
It's just doing my job.
And we help protect your dreams with amazing auto and home coverage. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com. And see Marvel Studios' Captain America: Brave New World.
Suit up. We need to move.
In theaters February 14th. This film is not yet rated.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Welcome to the Chevy Lightning Round. Guess the clues to win. First team, you're up.
Powerful, commanding, unstoppable.
Silverado.
Adventurous, fun, techie.
Trailblazer.
Stylish, nimble.
Trax.
Innovative, electric.
Blazer EV. Lightning Round champions. You've guessed all the right Chevy clues.
Wherever the year takes you, explore it together in the Chevy of your choice. See your Badgerland Chevy dealer today.
It started with a prediction.
We'll go out there and play basketball and win.
And how many games?
6.
It became the culture.
Chance of Bucks in 6.
Being a Bucks fan means you live and breathe Bucks in 6. Brandon Jennings created the prophecy. Tune into Behind the Bucks, the story of Brandon Jennings on the Bucks Plus audio network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and streaming wherever you get your podcasts.
That's for the culture.
Outside In. That's what we call our Outdoor Living Unlimited showroom at 2018 South Stoughton Road. All the cool stuff you want outside in your yard displayed inside. Patios, decks, pavers, and an automated pergola, fire pit, outdoor kitchen, a putting green, and in-ground pool. Even a converting 3-season room that's either outside or inside. We are Outdoor Living Unlimited. Your outdoor living potential awaits you at our Outside In showroom, 2018 South Stoughton Road. OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
It's my nature to be fearless.
Gruber Law Offices presents
Thanalysis.
One day it's all gonna end. What am I scared of?
A podcast from Thanasis Antetokounmpo.
I've airball, free throws. I've turned the ball over. I've missed game-winning shots.
Also supported by Carbless, premium ready-to-drink cocktails.
I don't care, man. I only live once. Can't go back.
And Potawatomi Casino Hotel in Milwaukee.
There's nothing for me to fear.
Subscribe on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts.
This is Madison's new home of Milwaukee Brewers baseball.
Churio, a high fly ball. Back, track, bye, baseball!
100.5 ESPN, your new home of the Milwaukee Brewers.
I've got some famous friends you probably never heard of, but back in Rutherford County, our crowd is second to none. You might not know.
You know what that music means? I'm dying to know if this guy was able to turn into a jerk on the field. Because certainly I'm a jerk to him from time to time on this show. It is Bryan Bulaga, our famous friend. Brian, good morning. How are you, you big jerk?
I'm good. How are you guys?
We're good. So you're such a pro at this. I know you generally join us early. Did you do that today, or did you have some stuff going on?
No, I tried to get in, but, Jesse's not in. Technical difficulties logging in and hearing audio. I caught a little bit at the end.
Okay, that's all right.
So
that's all right.
I didn't catch all of it. I didn't catch all of it. I caught a couple FU guys, and that's about it. So
all right. So
Blue was City an FU guy?
To like who?
Well, so the FU guys
preferably
are
opponents, but
in essence, it's someone that I look at. Jason, I guess you describe what you think an FU guy is.
A guy that you don't want to F with on the field, who's going to get after you, who's going to set the tone, who is going to strike some measure of fear in the hearts of opponents. Now, there is a line, right? Like, is TJ Slayton an FU guy? Because let's be honest, he's more likely to get an unnecessary 15-yard penalty than maybe set the tone, right? Keyshawn Nixon, I think he's a dog, right? You love saying that, Tausch. You love that phrase. He's a dog. Well,
yeah,
dogs are part of that, right? If you're a dog, you've got some of that to you as well. And this, Brian, this was all prompted by Tausch came across a tweet from Jay Wall, who basically said the Packers don't have enough of these guys. And when you lose, we all are part of this. We are part of the industrial complex of what do the Packers need to do to win the Super Bowl next year. And this is one theory. I had not even thought, they don't have enough of these type of guys. So I thought it was really interesting. Do you think that that's a shortcoming? And who are the guys that you played with that fit in that category? And who are the guys, when you look at this team, you think fit that category? And are there enough of them?
Yeah, I mean, I think someone that jumped off the page for me, and he was always this way, was TJ Lang. I mean, he was the epitome of that. Like, that's what TJ did no matter what. Didn't matter who was across from him. That's exactly what he did every single game. Didn't matter. Sitton really wasn't that way. Josh wasn't that way. I mean, he was an aggressive guy, but not in that manner, right? Like he didn't talk that much on the field. At least from my recollection, maybe when he went to Chicago, he did a little bit more, but in Green Bay, he really wasn't that way. Dave talked a little bit, but not as much as TJ. And then on the outside, Tay talked quite a bit. Jermichael Finley definitely talked a lot. He had a lot to say. Aaron Jones had a lot to say. So like there were some guys that had quite a bit to say. So like when you have a running back, a guy that you're protecting that has a lot to say, you're responsible for it, right? Like so if your running back talks a little smack as a lineman, you have to be ready to know that like opposing D linemen and running backs are looking to take shots at them. So there's a little onus of responsibility then on you to, you got to be ready to go because like there's just a little more fire within that defense to try to get after your running back. So it gets everyone a little more alert to the situation. But every offense and defense needs to have those guys kind of peppered throughout them, right? Like, it's not like every guy needs to be that type of player, right? Like, everyone kind of goes about their business a different way. Like, I wasn't that type of guy. It really wasn't my thing. Like, could I say something to somebody if it got to that point? Sure, I could, but it wasn't my go-to. Like, it was TJ. Like, that was like, TJ could do it play one. Like, it didn't matter. So do I think Green Bay has enough of those? I mean, I guess I don't know, because I don't know these guys well enough, right? Like, I know Elton is. Elton, that is how how Elton operates. Like, he was doing that as a rookie. Like, and the problem with Elton, and it is the best story that, like, I've ever, like, for Elton. Like, Elton, we were playing the Eagles early on in the season in 2019, and Fletcher Cox was on my side of the ball. Like, he was going against Billy and I, and a run play happens, and the run play happens to the left, and Fletcher Cox ends up on somewhere over on the left side of the ball, and it was like a 3 or 4 yard gain. And Fletcher Cox and Elton start getting like in a shoving match, and Elton's jawing at Fletcher Cox, like, and they're just going at each other for some reason. And Fletcher Cox like, you better talk to your boy. And I'm looking at Elton, I'm going, what are you doing, dude? You're not even blocking this guy today. That's me and Billy right now. Like, well, why are you jawing at him right now? Like, and you're just like, but that's the type of that's the type of thing you get. But those are the type of guys, right? Like, that's just the way they operate, and it's okay, right? Like, that's just the way it goes. But I know Elton's certainly that way. Like, he brings that type of mentality to a game, and I don't know who else on that roster does that, right? Like, I don't know the guys well enough. I would imagine Nixon does. You could see the way he plays, like, he would do that. It looks like Jacobs does. Like, you see Jacobs run and how he kind of talks and how he looks at guys after he runs hard and physical, that he has that edge to him, and he enjoys contact. So when he's running and he's looking for someone to hit, he enjoys that, right? And you can kind of sense that from him. But defensively, like Nixon, I think McKinney probably likes it. McKinney kind of goes down that path a little bit too. But after that, I don't know, right? Like, I just don't know, because I don't know the guys well enough. And that's something that, do you need to have like 11 type of those guys? Not really, but probably like five out of the 11. You would need guys with that type of attitude, especially on the defensive side of the ball. If I had to be honest with you, like, guys that set that standard and attitude.
Blue, when you watched the games this weekend, what stood out to you? Because one of the questions we had on Monday was, because of Saquon and the impact he had with Philly, I would say if Josh Jacobs played with Philadelphia, the Eagles still go to the Super Bowl. That was my takeaway. It's not Saquon's explosive. Green Bay needs to find more explosives, and the run game needs to be a part of that. That's not really Josh Jacobs. That was one of my takeaways. What did you look at when you saw how both of those games played out?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you insert Jacobs into Philly's offense, I mean, it's going to look very similar. I'm not taking anything away from Saquon, right? Like, there is not a thing I'm taking away from Saquon. Like, he is so good and he is playing so well. Like, I'm not removing anything away from his year and how he's playing. Like, it's unbelievable. He's so good. Like, so, like, I just want to start there, right? Like, but like, if you put Jacobs behind that group and the way they're playing and how they're scheming teams and what they do, like, it's going to look very similar, right? Like, and Jacobs' running style, yeah, it's a little different than Saquon's, but like, they can do very similar things if you put them in the same situations. So what Green Bay, like, with what, the Eagles are doing with Saquon, we're not running the same offense, right? Like, that is something that is not going to happen. Kellen Moore's offense is not going to be the same as Matt LaFleur's offense. So, like, that's not going to happen. LaFleur's not changing his offense to look what Philly does, because our quarterback simply does not is not going to do what Philly's quarterback does. So, like, we're not throwing the ball 22 times. We're going to throw it 32 times. You know what I mean? And, like, it's going to look different. So, but you can take away what they do with Saquon, getting him on the perimeter, right? Like, and that's what you're able to do when you're able to stretch these defenses and get them to run and move and widen out. That's where you see these lanes open up, like throughout the middle of the defense, and that's something we didn't really see this year because of the style. Like, and we've talked about it, the style that Jacobs really likes. We just didn't see much of it, but they do it with Saquon a bunch. They're getting to the edges of the defense, and when you're able to stretch these defenses out, it's one cutback through, the middle of the defense, and the holes are enormous, right? And the cutback lanes are big. These offensive linemen are just like cutting guys out of gaps, and there's one safety sitting there looking at Saquon Barkley going, well, I really don't want to tackle him, and they normally don't. And it would be the same thing for Jacobs, right? So, like, it's what I think Green Bay can do to really open up the offense to get more explosives in the run game. And once you do that, it opens things up for the pass game and the play action game too, which Green Bay can be really effective in.
So,
yeah,
Brian,
the question I have, Jason, just one last jump in here, is Jalen Hurts lets you get to the perimeter because you have to respect his feet. You have to respect him pulling it. Jordan Love, for whatever reason, I think injury is obviously a big part of it. That was not part of the game. He was not an avid runner this year. Like, not that he's ever going to be Lamar Jackson or Jalen Hurts, but I don't think anybody on defense was afraid of Jordan Love out on the perimeter. And that allows those DNs to not crunch down. When you're playing Green Bay, you squeeze. You can squeeze down, and you can take some of that away. So I don't know if Saquon Barkley's with the Green Bay Packers this year, is he having the same season that he just did with Philly? I would say probably not.
Well, yeah, I mean, again, like, they are running completely different offenses, and you said it. What happened to Jordan early in the season certainly prevented them from being able to have any threat of running him, and defenses knew it. He wasn't running, and he certainly wasn't going to threaten anyone to run either. Once you hurt a knee, and then you go ahead and hurt your groin, you're not running, and like, it's just not going to happen. And certainly you're not going to run that far, even if you do, right? You're going to get maybe out of the pocket or get 3 or 4 yards and get down. Like, you're not looking to gash anyone in the run game as a quarterback. Once you have those types of injuries, you're looking to get out of trouble and protect yourself and get down. So, like, you're not looking to hurt anyone with it, like the way Jalen Hurts and Lamar Jackson do. So, like, you get him healthy, and it's not a staple of your offense. But if you're able to get Jordan Love healthy and make it a threat, and not even make it something that you want to run him, right, and make that a big part of it, but able to pull that thing and use it as a throw, a quick throw, a slant over the middle, and make those DNs pause for a second that he throws it out and things like that. Because that's what Aaron did. Aaron would pull that thing out and throw it out wide, and that would get those DNs to freeze for a second. You get those DNs to freeze for that half second. That's all you need. You don't need them to, stop for like 2 seconds and play it. It's just the half second to give that running back in the offensive line the time to create, the cutback lanes, and then it's wide open.
All right, we need to take a break with Brian. Just to Brian's point, though, about Saquon Barkley, and I read these stats on Monday. So Josh Jacobs ran 301 times for 1,329 yards this season. Those yards broke down. Yards before contact, 592. Yards after contact, 737. Okay? Now, Saquon Barkley, who obviously ran for more yards, he finished with 2,005 yards. Yards before contact, 1,328 yards before contact. He had one fewer yard before contact than Josh Jacobs had total.
Oof.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
And his yards after contact were 677 yards, which are less than Josh Jacobs had, who had 700 total yards less than he had. So don't tell me that Josh Jacobs, if he's not getting hit as soon, which he wouldn't have been behind that offensive line and in that system, and the point you guys made about Jalen Hurts is a huge one. I totally think that's one of the keys to this. But tell me that this guy's got it a little bit better behind that line and in that system than Josh Jacobs has in the Packers system. When you have 1,300 yards before contact, and look, if he busts an 80-yard run and he's untouched the whole way, great. That certainly would increase that number. But he didn't have that many where he didn't have to at least break a tackle or stiff arm a guy. So those are the numbers that jump out at me. We'll spend more time
I think what we can all agree on, and before we go to break, is Green Bay has to find more explosives in its run game. That's what the big storyline for me was. But, yeah, well, we're talking about run game right now.
Right. All right, more with Bryan Bulaga straight ahead. Stick around. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar. Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute brought to you by your Badgerland Chevy dealers, proud supporters of Badger Athletics. Go to BadgerlandChevy.com. Not one, but two. Former Badger linebackers Zach Bond and Leo Chanel will be in the big game in the Big Easy. No matter who comes out as the victor, Barry Alvarez calls this a win for the Wisconsin program.
Those are our guys. And I love when you have Wisconsin players out on the field representing us and playing in the big time like that. That's impressive, and it's an added interest for me, and I'm sure for a lot of fans. It's fun to watch the games, but when you have a Badger right in the mix, it even makes it more interesting.
The Great Dane Huddle with Barry Alvarez, streaming Monday nights at 6 on ESPN Madison's YouTube channel.
Pella can make your home as beautiful on the outside as it is comfortable on the inside. Celebrate the new year with 0% interest for up to 3 years at PellaWI.com.
It's the 2024 model closeout sale at Zimbrick Chevrolet Sun Prairie. Save $11,500 on a 24 Blazer EVRS with 0.9% APR available. Save $2,000 on a 24 Colorado Crew Cab work truck. Save $54.56 on a 24 Silverado HD 2500 Crew Cab 4x4 with 3.9 APR available. Hurry, these closeout deals won't last for long. Visit Zimbrick Chevrolet Sun Prairie and ZimbrickChevrolet.com for details. Offers end January 31st.
Mark Toscher here for Pizza Hut, where the number 7 just got luckier. You already know how much I love Pizza Hut, but have you heard about Pizza Hut's $7 Deal Lovers menu? Enjoy all your Pizza Hut favorites like pizza, boneless wings, melts, cheese sticks, and more for just $7 each when you buy 2 or more. With the $7 Deal Lovers menu, you don't have to choose between great taste and great value. You can have them both. Order on the app or online at pizzahut.com. The $7 Deal Lovers menu, only at Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Have you been waiting to buy your next home? Stop. Now is the time to get housed. What's up, Madison? It's Stacy from Bruner Realty. Nobody has a crystal ball to know what the future holds. The longer you wait to find your next home, the better the chance you'll be paying more for it than you would be today. Don't miss out on what could be the best opportunity to find your dream home. Contact our team at BrunerRealtyInc.com to help start your search. That's BrunerRealtyInc.com. Let's get housed.
American Family Insurance is a lot like Captain America. He protects the world.
It's just doing my job.
And we help protect your dreams with amazing auto and home coverage. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com. And see Marvel Studios' Captain America: Brave New World.
Suit up. We need to move.
In theaters February 14th. This film is not yet rated.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Since 1956, Holman Lindsay Paints has been making paint in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Because of their commitment to making great paint for Wisconsinites, Holman Lindsay has grown over the years to 26 locations in this great state. Headquarters in Sun Prairie with a state-of-the-art facility, Holman Lindsay has the paint you need to make your job better. From do-it-yourself to professional, Holman Lindsay has paint for everyone. Visit one of their local locations today in Madison, Sun Prairie, Middleton, and Janesville.
From the biggest plays on the court to the comments made in the locker room after, an in-depth recap of every Bucks game in 6 minutes. No more, no less. Bucks in 6 provides game recaps for every game. Hear the high-flying dunks from Giannis.
Puts it on the floor, spins down the lane, and plunges it through.
Or the deep threes from Dame.
Dame time has arrived with 107.
Bucks in 6 on the Bucks Plus Audio Network. Find it now on bucks.com/plus or on Spotify, Apple, and wherever you get your podcasts.
On the air, on demand, on social, on Wisconsin Sports. Serving Wisconsin sports fans. This is 100.5 ESPN.
Continuing with Bryan Bulaga, Iowa. Brian, you never.
Blue, how do you get more explosive in the run game with the current setup that we got? Because not a lot is going to change, right? Josh Jacobs had a great year. Jordan Love, hopefully he's going to be healthier. But O-line wise, maybe center. I think Josh is probably going to be gone. What are we going to do to get more explosive in the run game?
Well, I mean, again, it's. You could harp on, you got to execute better and this, and you could do that, but I truly believe that you have to go back to kind of the way LaFleur installed this thing day one, and start working Jacobs a little bit more in the base principles of this offense, which is the outside zone of it, right? Like the full zone outside zone of it, and I think if you start to work in those schemes within the outside, the outside zone principles, because there were so many different variations and different plays from the outside zone where multiple tight end sets with fullbacks and different things and wide receivers that would crack. And there were so many different plays for outside zone that were really good that just weren't run this year. Right. And I think if you're able to get those plays off the ground and get Jacobs those types of looks, a lot of those plays that we ran ended up cutting back anyway. Right. They ended up working back inside and ended up cutting back and coming downhill anyway. So it's hard to get outside the defense. But if you threaten to get outside the defense, the whole picture shifts over and the running back gets back downhill anyway, which Jacobs wants to do anyway. And I'm not saying that has to be the number one thing that Jacobs does, because he loved the duo and inside zone, tight inside zone, which is great. But I think if you start to mix back in what LaFleur's offense is and start to get these defenses running side to side instead of straight downhill, you'll start to see more of the explosive run game that, we saw really from, Aaron Jones the year prior when he had that big stretch of, 8 games or 6 games or whatever it was where he was over 100 all the time. And I'm not saying that Jacobs wasn't explosive, in his season this year. He had big runs and things like that, but it was more of a grinding type run game, right? It wasn't that what you're talking about where you're seeing those 20-yard runs or the 15 or, those big explosive runs. It was more of a, 5, 6 at a time, and it was punishing runs and downhill and kind of, moving it down the field methodically. I think if you're able to throw in outside zone concepts and get defenses moving, certain things open up a little bit differently.
Brian,
all right. The other thing
Brian,
that we go ahead, Jason.
Brian, we went through earlier in the week, and Pro Football Focus is not the end-all, be-all of grading, but it is a useful tool. If you were to pick out a position that was most disappointing on the whole from this team this year, what would you say? Because Tausch is going to tell you what the numbers say.
Yeah. I mean, I think if you look at it, I guess I look at I guess I don't look at it from a Pro Football Focus standpoint, I look at it merely on production. Like, I'm a production guy. Like, and what I see, and I would have to probably say from a group, I would probably have to say the defensive line. Yeah, they came on. I thought they played well late, right? I think the last 4 weeks of the season, that's including Philly. I thought they did a really good job, but the total body of work, I would probably say the defensive line, if you're looking at from start to finish. But I thought they ended really well. But I could be wrong with how Pro Football Focus grades everything. I don't know.
No, that is what Pro Football Focus said. And we spent yesterday kind of going through the decline. And again, Pro Football Focus is what it is, but these teams are paying Pro Football Focus and Chris Collinsworth money to get their info. So it is valuable to them. And it gives you at least a jumping off point. A lot of guys play dipped, according to this metric. What are you doing? Are you going to run it back? Do you go and pick up? Do you do something big like you did at running back and safety? Or do you let the Van Nesses and the Enigbares grow? What are you doing if you're the Gutenlager? Balaga-Kunst, whatever you want to call yourself.
That's it. There you got it. That's the one.
Yeah. Well, it was funny because the other day on KBN, before the Homer Hour, I was asked about Goody and by a caller. You know, he was more ranting than anything. You know, and it was asked about, you know, Goody hasn't done this with the defensive side of the ball and the first round picks. And the thing was like, yes, when you select first round picks, especially on the defensive side of the ball, the way it's gone, like, you got to hit on those guys, right? Like, it just so has worked out. Like, some guys just haven't panned out the way that we all expected them to. And that's the gamble with the draft. And that's the way it goes. And then, like, if we all had the crystal ball, everyone would be really good. And that's the way it works. But, like, there is one thing that he could do, and that's go find someone that you know is really good. Like, you could do that. You could go find or make a trade for a Crosby, right? You could go make a blockbuster deal for Myles Garrett. You could do that. Like, that is on the table. Or maybe another D end on a team that, you know, we're not even talking about somewhere. And
TJ Watt's in the last year of his deal. TJ Watt.
Yeah, like, there's something,
give him Kevin
there's
King.
Sorry. So, like, there's something to be said for that, but it's just, you know, it's how he looks at picks versus, you know, trades and how and free agency and things like that. And I don't know what the market is with the free agents this year with DNs and then the trade market and all that. But I think you have to bolster that unit. I really do. I think you have to bolster that unit and make some changes. And they did it already. Obviously, from a coaching standpoint, you know, they moved on from that coach. You know, the coach that was there, he was the outside linebackers coach. Didn't work. You know, all right. So they're bringing in an actual, you know, a guy that is a defensive line coach, not really an outside backers coach. That should help a little bit, I would imagine. And now I think they got to bring in, you know, some guys. So we'll see how all that kind of works out. But listen, top pass rushers cost a lot of money. They do. Mm-hmm. They're expensive. They are, and I don't know what Green Bay's cap space is going to look like because if you ask all the, the wish lists for the Green Bay Packers, right? It's a wide receiver number one. It's a DB number one. It's a pass rusher number one. Like, number ones cost a lot of money, right? Like, they all cost a lot of money. So to get all of those in one window is it's tough to do.
By the way, in fairness to Kevin King, he was back in the league this year. He actually played in 15 games for the Atlanta Falcons this season. He even made one start after being out of the league in 2022 and 2023. So there can't be many guys that miss 2 years and come back. So kudos to him, but he is not TJ Watt. Brian, before we let you go, because we can't let you go at 10:07 because Well, that would be premature because we usually keep you till at least 10:15. On the flip side, and I was asking Tausch about this, how important a position coach is to your success and development. And he talked about Larry Bechtel and he talked about Campy. Obviously, you played for Campy, and then you had 1 year with Steno, right? Mm-hmm. And then obviously you went to L.A. So Anthony Campanile is one of the 4 candidates right now up for the Jacksonville Jaguars defensive coordinator job. And if I look at that group and I look at what Edgerrin Cooper did through the course of his rookie season, I look at what Eric Wilson, who had been basically just the special teams guy, was able to do. I look at Quay Walker, who I thought was playing the best football I'd seen him play until he hurt his ankle during the late part of the season. It looks to me like Anthony Campanile knows what he's doing as a coach. How important are position coaches to a player's development? And if he were to get that gig, would that be a blow to that group that really came on during the course of the 24 season?
Yeah, I mean, I think position coaches play a big role because I think they serve multiple purposes, right? Like, and obviously the obvious purpose is getting guys ready throughout the week, right? Game plan is very important, like, helping guys understand what is wanted from the coordinator and passing that information along and helping guys understand what the opposition team does and what their strengths and weaknesses are and going through tape and explaining what is needed throughout the week, right? And what they need to prepare for. The other part of it that I think gets underrated, and this is why I love playing for Campy and I respect him so much, is it's like part-time psychologists too, because like they are with us so much that they understand what guys are going throughout a week. That if there was maybe the week prior they didn't play their best, they understand what a guy needs mentally to kind of get them back mentally throughout that week of practice to make sure that they're feeling like they're ready to go from a mental standpoint in that game, that they're not, down on themselves, that they're confident, because like confidence plays such a big role in this game. And like people may say, well, you're pros, go out there and do your job. But like, yeah, I get that. But like, man, like you go out there against a top level defensive end and you don't think you can block him, you're not going to block him. Like, it's just, if you're not confident you can do it. So like they play part-time, coach, which is very important, but part-time, like getting guys mentally in the right frame of mind to go do their job. So like, I do feel like it would be a big loss, because like he did do a great job with these 2 guys, like getting Cooper and Quay and McDuffie. Like he did a really good job with that group. That group was solid, right? And like you said, Quay came on late. Cooper, I think, is, like we've all said it, I think he's going to be a really big star in this league, but he played really well. So like losing a guy like that as a coach, I mean, it's tough shoes to fill, right? Like who do you bring in to replace that? Because like players trust a guy like that, right? Like they're trusting what he's saying and they're buying into what he's saying and they're executing what he's asking them to do on the field. And you bring someone new in, there's a feeling out process of that. And whether you hire internally or you go outside the building and bring in, there's always a little bit of a feeling out period. So obviously great for him if he gets that gig, right? Like, happy for a guy to get a defensive coordinator job and get a step up. But for the team and for that position group, tough would be a tough loss.
Yeah, and you have that confidence that you're already seeing. Like Edgerrin Cooper is seeing, hey, what's working, what's going, and when you lose that, then you have to restart that whole conversation. And Wooly, where would he be going if he ended up getting that job?
Who's that?
Hit that hotkey. That's on me. Hit that hotkey. I want to get Blue's reaction to what I think is one of the all-time.
He's looking for Liam Cohn.
Duval.
So if he gets the job, he'd be going where?
Duval.
What is that?
That is Liam Cohn.
Liam Cohen
saying Duval, which is what apparently is that the county that Jacksonville is in?
I think it's the
You're
county.
The Florida resident.
Yeah, Blue.
Yeah, no,
Come on.
That's the. Well, I know that's the county. That's Jackson. Like, yeah, Duval County. But like, that's the head coach saying that.
Yeah, during his press conference.
Duval.
Yeah. Duval. Creepy.
What is that?
I love it.
Oh my gosh. Oh my god. I have that. There's got to be video of him saying that, right? There's got to be video.
We'll send that to you. All right. One last thing. So you said you got into it with a listener on KBN. We're not going to put you in that type of position, but we will take the occasional.
I didn't get into it. He just vented to vented to us. Like he I sat there and listened. I just listened.
Well, we don't have enough space during your time with us to take calls. So let me ask you this. This is from Roy in the YouTube comments. Brian, can Jordan be great if Josh Jacobs remains the focal point of the offense?
That's a good question.
That was a really good question.
Roy. Really good question.
That's a great question, and I think the answer to it is it's like a yes and a little bit of no, right? Like it's like a
my kind of answer.
It's
very
tough because it's tough because like if we're going to continue to just feature the run game, right? Like and really rely heavy on Jacobs, we're going to see consistent numbers and kind of what we saw. I mean, we'll see better performance. I think Love's going to get better, but kind of what was asked of Love this year, we're going to continue to see that. People are going to say, well, why aren't his numbers better? And why didn't he throw for 4,500 yards or 4,600 yards? And why wasn't there 35 touchdowns? When, well, Jacobs is getting a lot of he's running for touchdowns, and they're, running the ball for 1,500 yards or whatever it may be. And, the yards have to go somewhere, right? And they're going in the run game. So, like, and people consider quarterbacks great when they have those statistics, right? Like that's what they consider quarterbacks great as, right? Like when they're throwing for those types of numbers and get those stats. So, it's going to be tough to put him, to say he's great when the numbers are where they're at. Now, I still think you can throw the football and have him get those numbers and still have Jacobs rush for over 1,000 a year. And still get what you need out of Jacobs and still make him still be really good in the run game, right? And get what you need out of the run game and get him his touches and still have Jordan Love get the numbers that are required, right? Like to call him great. You can do both. I mean, there were years where, I don't know how many of them, but like we had rushers that were close to 1,000 and Aaron still hit all of his numbers that he needed, right? Like there was obviously no doubt of that. So it can be done. It's just the offense needs to everyone needs to do their part for that to get accomplished, right? Like that, there's a lot that needs to go into that. But it's tough if you're going to make the run game central. Like it's only like we're going to focus on the run game mostly, and the pass game is going to be secondary off the run game, right? Like they have to complement each other. Like 1A, 1B, not run game is 1, pass game is 2. They got to balance each other.
All right, Brian, we appreciate you always staying extra time for us. We will talk to you next week. I think I'll talk to you on Thursday on the Homer Hour.
Oh,
thanks,
my gosh.
buddy.
That's unbelievable. All right, guys.
Brian Bulaga, the future offensive line coach for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I don't know how long the commute would be, but we got to get him to say that next time he's on. Tausch, one thing that you love to say besides Duval is Blue Mountains of Coors Light.
Indeed, Coors Light is brewed with a 3-step cold process, cold lager, cold filtered, and it is cold packaged, so it's made to chill and make sure those mountains starting to warm up again. Got to make sure the mountains are blue. That's when you know it's chilled to perfection. That's why it is Coors Light in my hand when I need a moment to chill. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
The 10 o'clock hour starts late as always on Wednesdays in 2 minutes. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Happy New Year and happy new engagement. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. You have heard me talk about corporate, fundraising, and even casino events, but we are also amazing wedding DJs. Never cheesy and always the perfect fit for the perfect couple. Please let us help you narrate your wedding day love story while playing an amazing soundtrack that will rock your dance floor. Create lifelong memories of your one special day. Do it right and do it with celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
This is Derek Engler. You're listening to a Good Karma Brands radio station, 100.5 ESPN WTLX Monona, Madison.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good morning, Madison. I'm Ryan Wollersheim, and this is your Sports Center update brought to you by Goodman's Jewelers, the diamond store of Madison for generations. Check them out at 220 State Street and online at goodmansjewelers.com. Milwaukee Bucks falling on the road last night to the Portland Trailblazers 125-112. This is the Bucks' third game in 4 nights. And Giannis Antetokounmpo putting up a monster effort as usual with 39 points and 12 rebounds, actually scoring 16 points and not missing a field goal in the first quarter. But Bucks squander a 12-point lead on their Western Conference road trip. They'll wrap up that road trip this Friday night when they head out to San Antonio to take on the Spurs. Speaking of Milwaukee basketball, Marquette last night able to get a win on the road, though, as they beat unranked Butler 78-69. Marquette trailed by 7 at halftime, but able to prevail in their Big East bout. Marquette hosts another massive Big East matchup this Friday out in Milwaukee as they host number 25 UConn at Pfizer Forum. Tip-off is at 7 p.m. Also, Steve the Homer True, voice of the Golden Eagles, scheduled to join Wilde and Tausch coming up here in the second hour, starting right now.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
The 10 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch begins now. Thanks, as always, to Brian Bulaga. Tausch, you know, you've heard coaches say a million times, oh, it's a good problem to have. So, going back to Roy's question for Blue and just the overarching question of how do they get this offense to be at its optimal level, like, Josh Jacobs being a dog as a running back is a really good thing. Like, I don't want to get...
Being a dog.
Duval. Yes, for those tuning in late, that is new Jaguars head coach Liam Cohn.
My new second favorite team, Jacksonville. I am now pulling for Jacksonville just because of that.
Just because of that, okay.
Duval.
So Josh Jacobs being a stud... It's going to be a Ron Hassey. Josh Jacobs being a stud is a good thing. We saw what Jordan Love was able to do when the running game was going well with Aaron Jones a year ago. So it's not like you can't marry a productive run game, 5 straight 100-yard games for Jones, overlapping with many of Jordan Love's best games in 2023. But don't you think on the offensive side of the ball, beyond maybe, I don't know, making sure wide receivers don't drop 33 passes again, or pass catchers drop 33 passes again, don't you think that's the biggest challenge for LaFleur and his staff this offseason, is to find a way for them to allow Jordan Love within the newly redesigned run game to be more productive?
I think to answer Roy's question, the answer is 100% yes. Now, it's not going to all look the same, though. Favre had his MVP seasons, throwing for 4,000 yards, whatever his biggest seasons were.
Yeah.
Some of it, obviously, he had his glory teams in the mid-'90s, and then we had a couple looks at it in the mid-2000s, and that was based on an Ahman Green power run game.
Yeah,
It's what we did. And would Brett say that was his favorite time? I think Brett at that point in his career, and this is the tricky part, and I'll say this a lot because of NBA guys. Guys have to kind of figure things out before it becomes all about the team. I'm not saying Jordan Love is selfish by any stretch, but young players want to validate themselves, and validation comes with numbers. But Jordan Love is validated by money already because the Packers have paid him as a top quarter. Mm-hmm. Typically, you want to make sure your numbers are there so you get the max deal, NBA. And then after 6-7 years, guys will look at it and say, well, this is kind of hollow. I don't want to be a scoring machine on a dog blank team.
Yep.
I think Jordan has passed that part of his career, and that's part of sitting for a few years and learning it. Yes. So it's not going to be Joe Burrow 5,000-yard passing. I don't want that. And you know who else doesn't want that?
Matt
the Packers
LaFleur.
Defense.
Oh.
Football is Matt LaFleur, I think, wants his offense to be great.
Yep.
Complementary football is what do you need to do to win games? What's your formula? Green Bay didn't find it this year. Some weeks the defense would be good and create turnovers, and then other weeks the defense couldn't get off the field and passing the ball. Josh Jacobs has monster run games. Malik Willis comes in, they win games. Never found their formula. I believe this formula needs to be a good run game with a really good play action game off of it, and then all of the other stuff is easier. You know what quarterbacks are much better at? 3rd and 3. 3rd and 3 is with a good run game, play action, not just falling into line, giving yourself better opportunities to stay on the field so you get more plays. I don't know how many games this year Green Bay had that was under 60 plays a game.
Yeah.
How do you get great stats and big offensive production? Chunk plays or a lot of plays. Green Bay didn't have either. I don't know where Green Bay ranks as far as plays run on offense. I'd be very curious. I don't think they're top 10, and they weren't top 10 in explosives, and that's how you get to be a great offense. You have to have one or the other. So to answer your question, yes, you want to have a great run game, and that will help you deliver on the passing game. I don't know if Jordan Love is ready to take on a Dan Marino type deal or a Joe Burrow, and I'm certain we don't want that, especially at this point in his career. Now, if Josh Jacobs gets hurt and you have to, so be it. But every good team has a balance. And by the way, the Philadelphia Eagles with not a great passing game, second Super Bowl in 4 years.
Yeah.
What does that tell you?
I don't want to ride in a car with you, but, man, I like doing a radio show with you. The most plays run in the league during the 2024 regular season, Green Bay Packers finished ranked 25th out of 32. 1,027 total offensive plays. Here are the teams that were behind them, and there's only one
Tennessee.
good team in the bunch. No, but Duval ran the fewest plays of anybody.
Duval.
992.
They didn't even get 1,000 blanket plays.
Neither did the Carolina Panthers with 993. The other teams with fewer offensive plays than the Packers, the New York Jets, the Los Angeles Chargers, the Buffalo Bills, which is surprising to me.
That is surprising.
The San Francisco 49ers, who weren't very good this year, and the New England Patriots had the same number as the Packers did. So 11-6, and Buffalo being the other outlier. You run more plays. Generally, you probably are a better team. Just in case you were wondering, the teams with the most plays run, and again, there's an outlier in here, or maybe more than one. The Lions and the Browns tied for the most offensive plays.
Really?
And the Browns won 3 games. And the Lions...
I also would love for you to delve into chunk plays, like explosives. That's because you can do one or the other.
Right.
But if you're going to do explosives, you better be great at getting to the quarterback. You better be great defensively on that side of it. Otherwise, long days ahead.
Yeah, and the Eagles, who had a very explosive offense, were third in number of plays with 1,114. So
let's not kid ourselves on why Philadelphia is in the Super Bowl. Saquon, offensive line, all that's important. They're in the Super Bowl because they got their blank together on defense.
Yeah, you're right.
Their defense went from the outhouse to darn near the penthouse. The good news as a Packer fan and why somebody, how far away are they? Oh, they got a long window. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, okay, cute. Our defense made big strides.
No doubt.
Our defense was good enough this season to win. Our offense didn't get it done when the money was on the table.
16-10 in the fourth quarter of a playoff game when their offense turned the ball over 4 times. All right, we need to get ready for Homer. We still got another segment before he joins us. Want to remind you, I think tomorrow I am going to be in the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios in Milwaukee. And you know how much we love David and how much we appreciate everything he supports that we do here on Wilde and Tausch. And we love Gruber Law Offices, even though we never want you to have to call them, because that means you've never been injured in an accident. But if you have been, you got to get the best team on your side, and that is Gruber Law Offices. 414-276-6666, 414-276-6666. Gruber Law Offices, one call. That's all. More Wilde and Tausch straight ahead. Stick around.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Mark Toscher here, encouraging you to save money and help save the planet by making the energy switch to Everlight Solar. Well, the teams competing in the big championship game in New Orleans were great at recognizing when to make the right changes for the success of their franchises. You can also make a great change with a switch to Everlight Solar. Our family was thinking about making the switch for a while, but we weren't quite sure where to even start. That's when we met the team at Everlight Solar. From the very first conversation, they educated us on the benefits of solar while also helping keep the process simple. Join us in saving a ton of money and creating a greener environment for our family and the community by switching to solar. Learn more and schedule a free consultation at everlightsolar.com. That's everlightsolar.com.
Just announced 0.99% APR for 60 months on select new 2024 Audis. Eligible models include the Q4 e-trons, Q4 e-tron Sportbacks, and the Q8 e-trons. No down payment required. Monthly payments equal $1,667 per thousand finance. All offers require qualified credit through Audi Financial Services. Offer ends February 3rd, 2025. Stop in and test drive today. Check out AudiMadison.com and see current inventory and specials. Start your adventure at Audi Madison today, off the Beltline and Rimrock Road.
Outside in. That's what we call our Siding Unlimited showroom at 2018 South Stoughton Road. All the stuff defending the outside of your home against Wisconsin's weather displayed inside. Many siding options and colors, plus full display of Pella windows and patio doors, and roofing too. Wisconsin's own Siding Unlimited, 4-time National Pella Platinum Premier Contractor of the Year, and proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics, awaits you inside our showroom at 2018 South Stoughton Road. SidingUnlimited.com.
Experience, knowledge, and results. That's what really matters when you need help after a serious truck accident. You'll need a lawyer experienced in fighting and winning for people just like you. Gruber Law Offices has the resources, strong track record of success, and a team of experienced lawyers to take care of your needs. We've successfully helped people injured in big truck accidents for more than 35 years. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
This is our crew.
Fly ball right field. Hit a ton. We're tied.
Milwaukee Brewers baseball is coming to ESPN Madison.
The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out.
Every pitch, every dramatic moment, every
fly ball left field. Back. Still back. It is up and gone.
Madison's new home of the Milwaukee Brewers. 100.5 ESPN.
When you or a loved one are faced with an unexpected injury or illness, Stoughton Health's Urgent Care is there for you. Stoughton Health has 4 convenient urgent care locations for the care you need without the wait. We have urgent care locations in Stoughton, Oregon, McFarland, and Cottage Grove with extended hours to fit your schedule. Stoughton Health accepts over 160 insurances, including Dean Health Plan, Quartz, Humana, and more. Please visit stoughtonhealth.com for more information. Stoughton Health, creating excellence together.
Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison wants you to start the year behind the wheel of a brand new ride in our Road to the Motherlode giveaway. On Friday, January 31st, there are lots of opportunities for you to strike gold. 3 winners will be chosen every half hour from 6 p.m. until 9:30, with each taking home a cash prize between $500 and $2,500. Then at 10 o'clock, one grand prize winner will receive our largest single prize ever, a $50,000 vehicle certificate. And it's only at Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison.
When you've been seriously injured, you'll need a team with knowledge and experience to get the results you deserve. Call Gruber Law Offices today. Proud partner of your Milwaukee Bucks. One call, that's all.
You're listening to Madison's home for Milwaukee Bucks basketball.
Lillard, three-pointer for the lead. It's Dame time.
Madison's home of Dame Time is 100.5 ESPN.
All right, we need to get to Homer. So I will just ask this simple question. Who is Duval replacing on your second favorite team list just because of this creepy weirdo Duval thing?
I was pulling for Buffalo.
Yeah, me too.
So I think I'm probably still close with Buffalo and the Jags now with the Duval. Tennessee.
Duval.
I'm also just with. At this point in your life, I think you become more about people than teams, and I have some friends within the Titans organization, and Buffalo, and now this Jacksonville's just funny to me, and I like fun.
You like. Somebody please disable that hotkey. You like fun and you love Quick Trip, even if you don't love stopping while you're driving.
I do, and I do love stopping. Just can't be 10 minutes after we take off, but life is busy and Quick Trip gets it. Whether you're craving that fresh coffee, a tasty bakery treat, or a quick grab-and-go meal, Quick Trip is your go-to. Variety and quality, fast service. Quick Trip's team is all about making your day easier and better. From clean restrooms to fresh groceries and everything in between, Quick Trip's got you covered. Plus ATMs and free air. And you know what? It's getting warm out. Car wash. How fun is that? Jump in there, get a car wash at Quick Trip. You can also check out Quick Trip's appetizers like crispy tornadoes packed with bold fillings, or those zesty mini tacos, bite-sized, totally irresistible. And don't forget to take home and bake a freshly made cheese mountain pizza, $9.99 for traditional and $6.99 for thin crust. Plus the Quickery white bread, it's 99 cents a loaf. You can get apples and oranges and pears, oh my, for $1.49. You can make dinner a breeze. Grab some kitchen cravings, 80% lean ground beef, 16 ounces, $2.99. Download the Quick Rewards app. Take advantage of everything Quick Trip has to offer. Order ahead for pickup or curbside delivery. Quick Trip. We'll see you next time.
Homer's next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
Gold medalist and ESPN Madison foodie Matt Hamilton here to tell you about Metcalf's Market. As a proud Wisconsinite, you know I support local, and it doesn't get more local than fourth-generation, family-operated Metcalf's Market. Renowned for offering an extensive selection of local and premium quality foods, it's the best place to shop for me and my family. Where family tradition meets commitment to quality, sustainability, and supporting local communities, head to one of their locations today in Hilldale, near Westtown Mall, or Wauwatosa. Metcalf's Market. Bring local home.
Since 1956, Holman Lindsay Paints has been making paint in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Because of their commitment to making great paint for Wisconsinites, Holman Lindsay has grown over the years to 26 locations in this great state. Headquarters in Sun Prairie with a state-of-the-art facility, Holman Lindsay has the paint you need to make your job better. From do-it-yourself to professional, Holman Lindsay has paint for everyone. Visit one of their local locations today in Madison, Sun Prairie, Middleton, and Janesville.
Since J&K Security Solutions opened in 1987, our attention to detail and customer service have been our strongest assets. I'm President Jeffrey Beckman. We'll always do our best to find the most efficient and cost-effective solution to every job we tackle. Whether it's security for your home or business, installing video surveillance, or being able to control your garage doors from your phone, we can help you feel empowered with simple and user-friendly technology. Let's work together to secure your home or business. jksecurity.com.
Looking for the most popular answer. What's the worst thing about Wisconsin winters? Gina Della from Pella.
Finding a sitter when snow closes school. Yay! It's the time of the year when we just want to be all warm and snuggly at home. And Pella helps make your home as beautiful on the outside as it is comfortable on the inside. With inviting doors to let friends and family in and beautiful energy-efficient windows to keep the cold out. Celebrate the new year with 0% interest for up to 3 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply.
American Family Insurance is a lot like Captain America. He protects the world.
It's just doing my job.
And we help protect your dreams with amazing auto and home coverage. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com. And see Marvel Studios' Captain America: Brave New World.
Suit up. We need to move.
In theaters February 14th. This film is not yet rated.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
At UW Credit Union, our home loans have everything you need for your next big step, including up to $750 off closing costs for all home buyers. And first-time buyers can save even more. So if you're ready to trade roomies for more room, or your townhome for an out-of-town home, UW Credit Union will be with you from start to furnished. UW Credit Union. Apply online today. Equal housing lender. Credit may be limited as required by program. Visit uwcu.org for details.
It started with a prediction.
Gonna go out there and play basketball and win.
And how many games?
6.
It became the culture.
Chance of Bucks in 6.
Being a Bucks fan means you live and breathe Bucks in 6. Brandon Jennings created the prophecy. Tune into Behind the Bucks, the story of Brandon Jennings on the Bucks Plus audio network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and streaming wherever you get your podcasts.
That's for the culture.
Hey, it's Riley Yauk. Stay in the know on area high school sports and follow ESPN Madison on Twitter for Prep Mania on Deck, each week's preview for the top games and events. Prep Mania on Deck is brought to you by Zimbrick Honda, a proud supporter of high school sports and local communities.
For official rules and more information about every contest on 100.5 ESPN, visit ESPNWisconsinContests.com. That's ESPNWisconsinContests.com. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN app.
Watch every ESPN Madison show live every day. Subscribe to ESPN Madison on YouTube for live video of every show and exclusive content. Just search ESPN Madison.
Whatever you do, make sure you do it right. Whatever you do, make sure you do it right.
You know what that music means. It's time for the host of the Homer Hour. Weekdays 5 to 6 on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee. Also, the voice of Marquette men's basketball, which I listened to him a little while I was in the car because I couldn't watch the entire TV broadcast. I was running around picking up girls from their practices. And, of course, you see him and hear him on God Talk on YouTube with Homer and Pip. It is Steve the Homer. True Homer, good morning. How are you?
I'm still sad.
Because?
What? Josh Allen had a historic play. If Buffalo had won that game and maybe made the Super Bowl, it would be the greatest play in the history of the Buffalo Bills. The tight end dropped it and gone. It's over.
Why do you care?
Because when you
You're not a
have
fan of the
something
team.
that has the potential to be so historic, I don't care what team that should have been one of the great plays in the history of the NFL playoffs, given the nature of the game, given the closeness, given the quarterback. And he, just, I don't know, unlucky. It's just sad. It just goes away. It's like great performances in games in which a team loses, and it gets lost. And that play shouldn't have been lost, but it is. They'll never make a play in the NFL as great as that one. But
Never's a long time.
That is, yes, it's a long time. Never.
I thought you had this sad tone because you got folks saying, "Are you drunk? You sound unhinged and a little pathetic."
Yes.
Or, "This is dumb." And I'm going to venture into these.
To Twitter?
Yes.
Are you making reference to Twitter? I do want to let you know I've developed a new Twitter approach. I purposely make a mistake and then see how mean people are. And when they're very mean, I just block them.
Wow.
So I don't have to deal with them anymore.
Well, you made a couple of mistakes, including your first sentence not really being a sentence.
Right, which
And
is
also,
irrelevant. I mean, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. There's a standard for sentence structure in Twitter. Yeah,
there's a standard. Hey, it's about
No,
standards,
there
not
is
feelings.
No standard. Some people have a standard.
I'd like
There
a
is no
verb.
standard.
I'd like a verb.
Whatever.
That's what I'm
Fine.
looking for. Secondly,
Yes.
I think as someone of your stature, you should probably be able to spell Ron Wolf's name right.
I know how to spell it. That's why I did it.
I don't believe you.
Well, okay, that's fine. You can be Tausch.
It's now clear that Hall of Famer Ron Wolf, and I am his greatest fan, period. Wolf made the
By the way,
biggest...
do you have any trouble understanding that? Do you have any trouble understanding that?
I
No,
do.
go ahead.
I do. It is
Yeah,
distracting to
okay.
me that it's nonsensical
Distracting
structure.
to you. Oh, that's the important thing. Not that you understand it, but it's distracting to you. Okay, I got it. Go ahead.
If you could let me finish, since I'm going to defend you, not that you need me defending you, but I'm going to anyway.
Not on Twitter.
Wolf made the biggest mistake in Green Bay history, you always got to go a bridge too far, by not hiring Andy Reid as head coach. Packers would have at least, all one word, 3 more titles. Bet Wolf would admit, I am right. Well, you don't have to bet because I have had this conversation with Ron multiple times over the years. In fact, he may have brought it up the last time he was on this show, which I really need to reach out to him because Tausch has wanted him on the show for a while, and I kept forgetting. He considers his biggest mistake as GM not just hiring Andy Reid when he was right in front of his face, and instead hiring Ray Rhodes, who, by the way, was then subsequently replaced in Philadelphia by Andy Reid and then replaced in Green Bay after 1 year by Mike Sherman. So you're not off base. Ron Wolf does agree with you. It's the biggest mistake he ever made. But do we agree, Tausch, with Homer, that the Packers would have 3 more Super Bowl titles because the Eagles didn't win any when he was the Eagles coach? They went to 1 Super Bowl with him, but they did not win another title until after he departed.
I don't know how to answer that question. Do I think Aaron Rodgers and that runway with Andy Reid would have yielded more than 1? I certainly hope so, but it's impossible for me to make that because would Andy Reid with Brett Favre as the quarterback in the mid-2000s, would he have won a couple there? Who knows? It's such a hard thing. You can't quantify it. You could say it, but he didn't win any with Donovan McNabb in Philly. And until Patrick Mahomes, who is probably going to go down as the greatest quarterback to ever play, He didn't win any with them either. So is it a chicken or an egg deal? Andy Reid's a great coach. We all can admit that. Would he have the same success? I would say probably not.
Homer, your response.
I'm disappointed. It is clear when given a good enough quarterback. It is clear when given enough quarterback, a good enough quarterback, Andy Reid is able to set incredible records. What's the difference between Philly and Kansas City more than anything else? The quarterback. With Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers much, much closer to Mahomes than McNabb, the comment is easy and simple. I'm disappointed, not with my comment, but with your response.
I don't really care. I mean, that's fine.
Okay, that's fine.
I don't know how you could possibly say 3 or 4. You don't know how long you'd even been there.
I didn't say 3 or 4.
You said at least 3.
At least 3
What?
is 3 or
Okay.
4.
What? I said at least 3.
So what do you mean you didn't say it?
I said 4.
What do you mean you didn't say it?
How do you view at least 3? Jason?
3 or more, which 4 would be more.
Again, assessing that, how many would you take from that comment?
A minimum of 3, but also possibly 4.
Okay.
Wow.
All right.
Are you okay?
The difference.
Yeah, he's like you are dejected because of Josh Allen.
I'm just
That's
really
super.
sad. Yeah.
Marquette won last night.
Yeah, you got to
Historic
win.
Butler Fieldhouse.
Yeah, they did. Nice game. Stevie Mitchell continues to be an incredible player. I'm trying to decide if he's the greatest defensive player I've ever had at Marquette.
All right,
That's Jimmy
Homer. Homer,
I thought you told us we don't talk about Marquette.
Hey, you're breaking your own rule. Like we're just trying to be nice.
Now you continually bring this up, and because if you really cared what I thought, you'd never bring it up. But you continually bring it up, so I will play along and give you stuff. What is known for sure is that, and I thought it was Bart Miller because he went to grad school at MIT.
Bartsky.
Stevie Mitchell, who you've never heard of. Stevie Mitchell with a 4.0, which I believe should be his jersey number. I was informed could go to MIT every day, so he might only be one of the greatest defensive players, but arguably the smartest basketball player ever at Marquette. As far as a student.
So are you this sad because people are being mean to you on Twitter or because of the Josh Allen thing or what? You just seem downtrodden.
Yeah, you do.
No, it's
not
definitely
as feisty
not on
as
Twitter.
normal.
I am very happy about Twitter. I feel that I've learned how to use Twitter even better than I thought possible. But yeah, the Josh Allen thing that's those incredible moments.
It was like 4 days ago.
Are you sick of the Chiefs?
Forever.
Is that what this is? Are you just sick of the Chiefs?
No, definitely not. Greatness you want to get is. I hope they. I mean, basically, it would appear they're in the direction of Vince Lombardi. 5 titles in 7 years, and so yeah, you're seeing quite possibly Vince Lombardi's second era, which no one thought possible with so many teams.
Yeah,
By the way, I do also have a stat thing for you, Jason, to help you out.
Ooh,
if you have a stat which says Cleveland is any good, the stat sucks. Cleveland scored the fewest points of any team in the NFL. Any stat that ranks them as second best proves that stat is irrelevant. In fact, bad to be viewed as anything as far as the offense of a NFL team or any team for that matter.
For those of you that tuned in late,
Cleveland second.
the Browns tied for the league lead in most plays run offensively with the Detroit Lions.
Right, which proves the stat means nothing.
I have a hard time arguing against that.
No one can argue that. You can't argue that. Just like my problem that I've had with the ESPN QBR, because there are some games where it's just so bad, like the Packers and the Vikings. QBR, the ESPN stat, says that Jordan Love had a better game than the Vikings quarterback, who was 33 of 43 for 377 yards and 3 touchdowns. He did an interception. They say his QBR was 79.9, and Jordan Love, 19 of 30 for 185 yards and a touchdown, was better at 82.8. Of course, the old way that everybody did it said that's crazy because the difference was 116 to 91 in favor of the Vikings. So any stat that says in that game Jordan Love was a better quarterback, that sucks. You can't be that wrong.
I'll sign up with that club.
Consider that stat of any value, which they continue to do on a daily basis for whatever reason. I don't know.
I'll agree with you. I'm with you on that one. Anything else you'd like to get off? Anything else you'd like to get off your chest before you go?
Yeah, you're in a goofy mood today.
Thank you. No, I think that pretty much. I think I'm pretty good now. Got the big show, the biggest, the best 60 minutes of the day coming up at 5:00. I think. Aren't you on today?
I am. This is my one day where you actually talk to me.
There's accuracy to that. The other people talking are better than I am.
Different. They're definitely different than you, and they have their strengths. Yes, you can listen to Homer on the Homer Hour. The 3 days that I do are Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Tuesdays are with John Anderson. Thursdays are with Brian Bulaga. Wednesdays it's just Homer and I. Monday, Friday. Friday is Gary Ellerson, right?
That is correct.
And Bulaga is Monday also?
Bulaga is Monday and Thursday. Rob Domowski comes on. Very long, nice article he did on Goody.
Yeah. Tausch has it framed.
At some point.
Yeah. All right, Homer. Congrats on the big win. I enjoy watching Joplin play, but we're not going to talk about Marquette because that's not what we do on this program. But maybe we'll do it on the Homer Hour. Thanks, buddy.
Sounds good. Bye.
That is Steve the Homer True. Again, you can tune in to the Homer Hour every weekday. Yeah, I was a little...
No feist. There was nothing feisty about him.
He didn't argue with you, really? He claimed that he spelled Ron Wolf's name wrong on purpose.
He didn't on purpose, no. I would agree with you on that. I think that's fake news. I do. I think that's fake news.
So I will talk to him a little bit later on this evening. Want to remind you, if you haven't been using Bucks Plus Audio Network, what are you waiting for? There's all kinds of great stuff there, including Behind the Bucks on the Bucks Plus Audio Network, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Behind the Bucks right now, diving deep into the Bucks in 6 story, a culture unknowingly created by former Bucs star Brandon Jennings. Take a look inside Brandon Jennings' life story, the origin of Bucks in 6, how it became a rallying cry, and what it truly means to Jennings and Bucks fans alike. Behind the Bucks on the Bucks Plus Audio Network. You can find that on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and wherever you get your podcasts. Behind the Bucks, presented by Gallagher. More Wilde and Tausch straight ahead. Stick around.
We're on the Packers.
The lesson to be learned is you can't be a 7 seed.
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
They got to be better, and if they're not, then next year will be a disappointment.
Nobody covers the green and gold like 100.5 ESPN. Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute is brought to you by Steinhoffels. Test Rest, a Beauty Rest black mattress for your chance to win a dream vacation to Hawaii. Queen Beauty Rest mattresses start at just $3.99 only at Steinhoffels. Not one, but two. Former Badger linebackers Zach Bond and Leo Chanel will be in the big game in the Big Easy. No matter who comes out as the victor, Barry Alvarez calls this a win for the Wisconsin program.
Those are our guys. And I love when you have Wisconsin players out on the field representing us and playing in the big time like that. That's impressive, and it's an added interest for me, and I'm sure for a lot of fans. It's fun to watch the games, but when you have a Badger right in the mix, it even makes it more interesting.
Pella can make your home as beautiful on the outside as it is comfortable on the inside. Celebrate the new year with 0% interest for up to 3 years at PellaWI.com.
Hello, I'm John Hayes, the owner of Goodwin's Jewelers. It's been my pleasure to serve this community from this incredible store for over 4 decades. We stand upon high standards and classic traditions, pillars like honesty and integrity. Stop into Goodman's Jewelers, the longest-standing full-service jewelry store in the heart of Madison at 220 State Street. Goodman's Jewelers, the diamond store of Madison since 1933.
The best is at Goodman's.
Welcome to the Chevy Lightning Round. Guess the clues to win. First team, you're up.
Powerful, commanding, unstoppable.
Silverado.
Adventurous, fun, techie.
Trailblazer.
Stylish, nimble.
Trax.
Innovative, electric.
Blazer EV. Lightning Round champions. You've guessed all the right Chevy clues.
Wherever the year takes you, explore it together in the Chevy of your choice. See your Badgerland Chevy dealer today.
This is our crew.
Fly ball right field. Hit a ton. We're tied.
Milwaukee Brewers baseball is coming to ESPN Madison.
The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out.
Every pitch, every dramatic moment, every
fly ball left field. Back. Still back. It is up and gone.
Madison's new home of the Milwaukee Brewers. 100.5 ESPN.
Ordering pizza for game day can be a tough call to make. Do you get a pizza or are you craving some wings? At Pizza Hut, there's only one right answer. Get both. Introducing Pizza Hut's original stuffed crust and wings bundle. Get a large one-topping stuffed crust pizza and 16 boneless wings with 2 sauces for only $19.99. An unbeatable value that can feed the whole crew. Perfect for game days, family nights, or any gathering. Order on the app or online at pizzahut.com today. Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
I love playing sports, especially for my school. And that's because school sports are special. It's where it's safe to fail. It's where we're taught resilience, where our fear becomes confidence. It's where we learn to get back up after every fall. School sports are where 7.8 million students go from I can't to I can.
This message presented by the WIAA and the Wisconsin Athletic Directors Association.
We ask and you answer. Follow at Jim Matt Molly on X to vote and poll questions every day. Presented by Siding Unlimited, your local home improvement pros. Trust Siding Unlimited with all your home remodeling needs.
Join the Madison Money Guy, Christian Finfrock, for Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Get the information you need as you plan for retirement. That's Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Investment advisory services offer the Retirement Income Strategies, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
We're on the Packers.
The Green Bay Packers simply couldn't beat the elite talent in the NFC.
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
They were good. They were not good enough.
Nobody covers the green and gold like 100.5 ESPN.
All right, thanks to Homer, even though he was downtrodden and in a bit of a mood. Now I'm irritated.
Ooh. I like it when both of you are irritated.
Yeah,
Not melancholy like bleh.
No,
like Homer was.
Like legit irritated. I just saw something from our buddy Wes Hodkiewicz of Packers.com. Tausch just sent me something from our buddy Ari, who I always get Ari Mirov and who's the guy that sold his account to somebody else? Dov Kleiman. I always get those two mixed up. Ari's a real person. I think he works for the 33rd team.
Do we know that for sure?
Yeah, I've seen him do some stuff for the 33rd team with
Have you ever met
that
Dov?
crew. I have not met Dov. I know that Dov, the Twitter account, is no longer Dov if Dov was a person. I don't know if he was or wasn't, but whoever was operating it sold it. But
okay.
Bill Belichick is saying things now that now I'm irritated. So we're going to start the 11 o'clock hour there. I work with someone who I think the world of, who always wants to improve things and fix things. He's a solutions-based guy. I don't feel like you seek out to fix things that don't need to be fixed.
Depends who you ask.
Well, fair. Bartsky. So we'll get to that coming up after Tausch tells us Hey, if you need a little extra money in your pocket, and I actually was thinking about maybe doing this, Fortrea Clinical Trials is there for you.
I thought we talked about you being my driver or my butler to help you with some of that, but
definitely not going to be your passenger.
Fortrea is great as well. Bunch of different studies that you're looking for. Healthy adults ages 18 to 60, women of childbearing potential, body mass index between 18.5 and 30. One study involves one stay of 11 nights with 2 follow-ups, $7,104 for your time and participation. If you refer a friend, another $500 for that. Head over to FortreaClinicalTrials.com. That's Fortrea, Fortrea, clinicaltrials.com.
The 11 o'clock hour, which will include a Whoa Wooly and trivia and me being irritated with Bill Belichick, is next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Mark Tauscher here to tell you a little bit more about Everlight Solar. We all know that electricity costs are on the rise. That's why you need to talk to my friends over at Everlight Solar. Their local team here in Madison is here to keep it simple. From your no-cost consultation to solar panel installation, the team at Everlight Solar will be with you every step of the way. Not only will they help you save money, but by switching to solar, you're also helping save the planet. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Check them out at everlightsolar.com.
Hi, this is Dave Kane. You're listening to Madison's Home of the Bucks, a good Karma brand radio station, 100.5 ESPN WTLX, Monona, Madison.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good morning, Madison. I'm Ryan Wollersheim, and this is your Sports Center Update brought to you by Tuesday Night Hoops on Zimbrick Honda's presentation of Prep Mania. All season long, catch the best area high school basketball games every Tuesday night on 100.5 ESPN and live video streaming on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel. Also, go back and watch last night's game as Monona Grove traveled to Oregon. Riley Yauk and Dennis Semrau on the call for that one. Much better game than the Bucks game last night, however, as they lost on the road to the Trailblazers 125-112. Giannis putting up 39 points and 12 rebounds, actually scoring 16 points and not missing a field goal in the first quarter, but the Bucks squandering a 47-35 lead in that one, falling in their third game in 4 nights out on their Western Conference road trip. They'll wrap that up on Friday night as they take on the San Antonio Spurs. Then last night, Marquette also beat unranked Butler 78-69, trailed by 7 at halftime, but able to come out on top on that one. They'll host number 25 UConn at the Pfizer Forum this Saturday. And then tonight, Wisconsin men's basketball taking on Maryland on the road, 6 p.m. tip-off. Badgers 5.5-point underdogs.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
The 11 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch begins now. Now, Wooly, are you capable of getting this Bill Belichick audio ready? Because my history here with producers, and I say this with both love and affection and some irritation, is that when you ask Jesse to do something, what's his hit rate? 60%, maybe? 6 out of every 10 times we ask Jesse to do something, he does it? Or does that seem high?
Seems a little bit high. That seems high.
Yeah, okay. Well, I think Jesse Nelson, if we're talking about hit rates, his hit rate's pretty low. It might be higher than Bill Belichick's on this take, guys. If you want the audio.
Nice.
Here we go.
Well, it's Brewski. It's Corey Dillon. It's Randy Moss. Troy Brown. Lawyer Malloy. Ty Law. Rodney Harrison. Those are the guys that won the games. Man, I didn't make any tackles. I didn't make any kicks. That was Vinatieri that made that kick in 4 inches of snow. You got to have good players. And as a coach, you want to give your players a chance to win. You want to put them in a position where if they go out there and play well, they'll have a chance to win. That's what Coach Parcells taught me is there's always a way to win. You just got to figure out what it is, and you have to give the players a chance.
They don't name it the Star Trophy. It's named the Lombardi Trophy.
Maybe they should name it the Brady Trophy. He won 7 of them. Players win games.
So that's Belichick with Jim Gray on Let's Go, which is a podcast that runs on Sirius XM, and I think Westwood One. First of all, I'm not a huge fan of faux humility. I never made a kick. I never caught a pass or made a tackle. Come on, Bill. I'm sorry. I'm not buying that. We all have egos, some more than others. But come on. Secondly, we don't need to rename the trophy. And the idea of, and I know Jim Gray makes a wisecrack there about it's not the Star Trophy, it's the Lombardi Trophy. But Vince Lombardi was an innovator. He was ahead of his time in a lot of ways. And you listen to those players, and I know, Tausch, you've talked to plenty of them over the years. He did matter. He may not have made tackles or made kicks, but he did matter to that team. And the idea, I hope he's just being, cute there. But Tausch, that I listened to that, and that irritated me. Am I overreacting?
So let me ask you this. I think as a Packer fan, we all feel that way. But what if Hank Stram won the first 2? Are we going to get upset because it's the Stram Trophy?
I think I'm irritated in part because there's also this kind of ignorance, and I know because I read Wes Hodkowitz's piece on Packers.com with Cliff Crystal, that the Packers are a little annoyed as an organization because there's a lot of talk about the Kansas City Chiefs becoming the first team to three-peat in the Super Bowl era. And the Packers are annoyed that they won 3 in a row, not once but twice. And the second time they did it, it was only 2 Super Bowls because they didn't have the Super Bowl yet. But I think they feel like they're getting short-shrifted for what they did in the Lombardi glory era. Do you think that that's the case?
Frustrating.
Well, there's no doubt. But, I mean, if you're Don Hudson's family, you feel like he's gotten short-shrifted. He was doing things that no other wide receiver in the history of the world was doing. Like, the number differential between him and the other people in his era was obscene. But this is how life works. You get forgotten. And it's your job to keep things in perspective, and that's why sports writers, historians keep that stuff so that you can learn from the historical part of what happened. And the Green Bay Packers have 13 championships. Steve the Homer True always says, well, they don't count until this. Plenty of people view it that way. Doesn't mean I view it that way. The Green Bay Packers are the elite franchise when it comes to world championships. Period. But they are not when it comes to Super Bowls. It's just how it is. That's the way things have shaken themselves out. That doesn't mean you should diminish what the world championship was, but people do. What am I going to sit here and say? Well, they didn't have to play whatever it was. I don't even know the schedule when they won in 1932. I don't know.
Sure.
Somebody have to help me. But what I do know is without the Green Bay Packers and the history that was played out and the championship medal that they've proven over year and decades and everything else is a big part of why this league is where it's at. So I understand the frustration from Packers folks because I didn't even know we had 2 three-peats until someone said something. I knew we won the championship before the 2 Super Bowls. That I knew. I didn't know we have three-peated twice. And the fact that that is the case, it is a reminder of the greatness of the Packers, but it is a different era. The Super Bowl era is different than the World Championship era. That's just how it is. That doesn't mean those championships don't count. Just like I still count the Wisconsin Badgers 1941 Hoops Championship.
But not 2020.
It counts. 2020 we don't count. I'd like to, but I don't.
All right, the Packers championships going
Did you know, Jason, that we had that the Green Bay Packers had 2 3-peats before all of this came out?
I did.
I did. Because I'm the greatest. I did.
The Lombardi era had 5 titles. They were not all consecutive. The last 3 were. It was 1961, 62, then 65, 66, 67. And 66 and 67 were Super Bowl I and Super Bowl II. Okay? The Packers' titles in the Super Bowl era are those 2 plus 96 and 2010. Super Bowl 31 and 45. Now, they're, what would Homer call these? The Old Testament titles?
Yep.
1929, 1930, and 1931. 1932 was not a championship season. Then they won it in 36, 39, and 44. And then there was that lengthy drought from 44 to 61, which we're starting to get there with the latest drought, by the way. So, Wooly, do you have some of the teams that first three-peat group in 29, 30, and 31 defeated on the way to their titles?
So I actually have the schedule from the 1931 team, the 1931 season. The first team they played is a baseball team that is now known as the Cleveland Guardians. The team after that was the Brooklyn Dodgers, so really sticking with the baseball thing
Koufax was great in that game.
Yeah, he was dealing from in the pocket. Then they beat the Chicago Bears 7-0. They played the New York Giants, then the Chicago Cardinals. Now this is where it gets good. The Frankfurt Yellow Jackets, they beat 15-0. They steamrolled the Providence Steamrollers 48-20. Then they beat the Bears 6-2. They played the Staten Island Stapletons, the Chicago Cardinals, the New York Giants, the Providence Steamrollers again, the Brooklyn Dodgers again, and then ended their season with a loss to the Chicago Bears 6-7.
Am I the only one listening to Wooly picturing him as like a 1930s era radio guy saying, "Oh, the Green Bay Packers steamroll the Providence Steamrollers 48-22"? No, I'm the only one who's doing that right now? Okay. Sorry,
that would have probably been a scoregami back then.
And some annoying producer of some radio program was keeping track of them all, like Jesse does. So, Tausch, how are we supposed to do that three-peat? Because, I don't think the Lombardi era, which included 2 Super Bowls and that 3 straight titles, that one should definitely not be ignored when we're having this conversation about the Chiefs. It includes 2 Super Bowls. The 29-31, I can see the point of some who might suggest that is Old Testament and it's not nearly as significant as what the Chiefs may do on Super Bowl Sunday.
It's closer. The Lombardi era is closer to what our current system is. The bottom line is every league has different growth, expansion, etc., etc. There's all kinds of things that go into it. But anytime you win 3 straight championships, it's like, is UCLA downgraded because of how the structure was in the 60s with John Wooden? Nobody is going to talk about great dynasties in the NFL without Lombardi's name is going to be on it. You're going to have Knowles Steelers, Walsh's Niners. I don't even know if the Cowboys would make that. You're going to have the Chiefs and the Patriots, and you're going to have Lombardi's Packers. That's how this goes. And as far as fighting over, whether it's a three-peat or not, or if they should change the name of the Lombardi Trophy, those are all conversations. The Packers, in essence, have a three-peat, but by the letter of the law and how it's viewed now, I understand why people say it's not, because it's not a world. It's different than what the system is. It just is. I can't fight that. You can say that you disagree with it, and I do, but you also can look at it big picture and say it's not the same thing as what the Chiefs are doing.
Yeah. It is definitely, as a purveyor of words, when you say that no one has won 3 consecutive Super Bowls, and if the Chiefs do it, they'll be the first. That is accurate. Now, if you say 3 consecutive NFL titles, then it's inaccurate, because that has happened before. All right, we need to play trivia. I'm assuming that it's Wednesday and Wooly is in charge. I'm assuming, based on the instructions that Jesse left you, and he's your boss too, right?
Yeah, somebody said so. Yeah.
Hunter said that yesterday, and it was just, I just couldn't believe it. But it's true.
Is there a difference between a boss and a manager? I guess he's just the one, kind of like an assistant coach almost, one might say.
I don't know. Does he do your review?
We do reviews? That's a thing?
Good one. The trivia category is indeed Wisconsin Geography Wednesday. Wooly, did you do these questions, or did you reach out to Up North Joe to do them for you?
I've never reached out to anyone to do my trivia or make my contest lists for me. Unlike Jesse Nelson, I did put this one together myself in honor of Jesse Nelson, though.
Jesse Nelson is not here. Wooly is his cousin, sub of the day. Caller 12 for trivia. Caller 12, 844-770-3776. 844-770-3776. Caller 12 plays trivia after Tausch tells us about American Family Insurance.
Calling all Badgers. American Family Insurance wants you and a friend to experience the best Badgers Day ever at a Wisconsin home game of your choice for the 2025 season. Pre-game field access, incredible seats at Camp Randall, and exclusive Badger swag. American Family Insurance has you covered. Go to amfam.com/Badgers to enter the Badgers Best Day Ever sweepstakes. It is open to legal residents of the 19 states that American Family Insurance insures. 1 entry per person. No entries no purchase is necessary. Dream fearlessly. Insure carefully.
Someday we're going to do trivia, and it's going to be what are the 19 states that American Family Insurance insures? That'd be a fun question. That is not one of the questions, because I looked at them. I will deliver them. Tausch will play along, and you will play next if you're the 12th caller. 844-770-3776. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Do you want to have more fun watching the NFL playoffs? Try playing Sleeper Picks. Just download the Sleeper app today and pick more or less on at least 2 players' projected stats. You can win up to 100 times your cash. For a limited time, Sleeper has a special offer. New users have to just play $5 and they'll receive $55 in free entries. Just download the Sleeper app today and use code BRAD, B-R-A-D. Must be 18 years or older. Promo code, location, and other restrictions apply. Minimum deposit $25. See terms of use for details. Please play responsibly. Call 1-800-426-2537 for help.
Mark Tauscher here for the Super Automotive Team at Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie. The name you can trust. Well, the countdown is on to crown another champion in football. And while I sure wish Green Bay was the team that would finish on top, there is another team in Wisconsin that's consistently recognized as being the best of the best, and that's Zimbrick Chevrolet. Year after year, Zimbrick is recognized as a best of Madison operation. And just like the best football teams have to be at their best in all 3 phases, Zimbrick is great across the board. Whether you're looking for a simple tune-up or you're in the market for a new or pre-owned vehicle, Zimbrick Chevrolet is truly the name you can trust. Stop in and say hi to some of the friendly faces on Main Street in Sun Prairie, or start searching for what you need from home by logging on to ZimbrickChevrolet.com. Either way, I hope you take some time and discover what this super team I've been telling you about for all these years at Zimbrick Chevrolet is all about. Zimbrick Chevrolet on Main Street in Sun Prairie is the name you can trust. Mark Tauscher here for Chalmers Jewelers. I've been a big fan of Scott and Garrett and the whole team at Chalmers Jewelers for years now. I go there, my friends go there, and most importantly, my wife loves it whenever I get her something from Chalmers Jewelers. The holiday season may be over, but that means Valentine's Day is approaching. It doesn't matter the occasion, birthdays, anniversaries, holidays, or if you're in the doghouse, or if you want to stay out of it, I recommend Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton and in Madison.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison. Hey, it's Bobby Portis, and I love playing basketball in Milwaukee. When I drive down the lane, I move fast and make sudden moves to drive to the hoop and score. But when I'm behind the wheel in the driving lane, I control my drive. I don't speed or make sudden movements. Speeding and reckless driving are the leading causes of traffic injuries and deaths in Wisconsin. Do what I do. Control your drive. Don't speed. Don't be reckless. Zero in Wisconsin. Together we can save lives. Wisconsin DOT.
American Family Insurance is a lot like Captain America. He protects the world.
It's just doing my job.
And we help protect your dreams with amazing auto and home coverage. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com. And see Marvel Studios' Captain America: Brave New World.
Suit up. We need to move.
In theaters February 14th. This film is not yet rated.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
When it comes to security for your home and family, you want a winner, and we found one when we placed our trust with J&K Security Solutions. This is Greg Gard. Kim and Jeff hit the game-winning shot for us with the Control 4 home technology system. Home or away, from our smartphones, we can open the garage door, dim the lights, turn on the TV, as well as arm the security system. That's convenience as well as peace of mind. Let J&K Security Solutions do for your home or business like they've done for us. Call 255-5799 or online at jksecurity.com.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer. Our policy is to provide equal opportunity employment, development, and advancement to all current and potential teammates. If you are an organization that maintains a job bank, provides employment information, or gives job referrals, you may request to be placed on the station's mailing list for future career opportunities. To learn more about careers at Good Karma Brands, please email careers@goodkarmabrands.com.
We're on the Packers.
For me, the next year, this upcoming year,
because we're on Wisconsin sports.
It's when I'm judging Jordan Love on a lot of things.
Nobody covers the green and gold like 100.5 ESPN.
He's got a Chevrolet that don't always run and the radio never turns down. He's got a pedigree.
Time for trivia. Except I don't know who the contestant is.
Oh, sorry about that, Jason. We got Joe in Milwaukee today. Joseph, some might say.
Joe, good morning. How are you today?
Good morning. I'm doing great.
Wow. You're like at the opposite end of the mood spectrum as Homer was. He was melancholy. You're doing great.
I'm doing great. You know, the Packers had a great season, even though we didn't get in the Super Bowl.
Well, let's see if you do great on trivia. It is Wisconsin Geography Wednesday. Here is question number 1.
Well, Jason, it's Wisconsin Geography Wednesday, but you gotta give the spin for Jesse being out.
The category Wisconsin Geography Wednesday, the Cruise Liner Steamships and Yachts edition, presented by Primetime Wollersheim, with Joe as our contestant, which he forgot to inform me of. All right, question number 1, Joe, in this very long titled trivia category, is this city is the sole Wisconsin port of the SS Badger, a historic passenger steamship that travels across Lake Michigan from May through October. Is it Superior, Manitowoc, or Sun Prairie?
Manitowoc.
1 for 1.
There you go.
Tough question.
Question 2.
This one's real tough.
Again, presented by Primetime Wollersheim, Wisconsin Geography Wednesday, the cruise liner, steamship, and yacht edition. Hoping there's a yacht rock question coming up. Question 2 is this. That Matt LePay would do well in that category. Question 2, the longest cruise that sets sail from Wisconsin in 2025 is Longitudinal World Cruise 4 of Viking Ocean Cruises. A 62-day, 9-country cruise that finishes at the southernmost tip of South America in Ushuaia, Argentina. From which Wisconsin city will this cruise depart from on September 15th, 2025? I thought my questions were long.
Oh. I'll be honest, I geared this one around because I thought Tausch was going to ask it, and I thought you saying Ushuaia, that would be your favorite part of today's show. Ushuaia, other than, Duval.
Duval. All right, here you go, Joe. Your choices for this Longitudinal World Cruise 4 from Viking Ocean Cruises. The departure location is Milwaukee, La Crosse, or Oshkosh.
I'm going to go with Milwaukee.
It's a smart choice. So there are cruises that leave from Milwaukee?
Apparently. They apparently go up through Lake Michigan and then out to the Atlantic Ocean somehow. Somehow. Through the other Great Lakes.
Wow. All right. You learn something new every day when Woolie's in charge of trivia. All right, Joe, question 3 and a chance for today's clean sweep is this. This landlocked Wisconsin lake is known for its many yachts and is sometimes called the Newport of the West. Not gonna lie, I have no idea what that even means. All right, here you go. The Newport of the West. This landlocked Wisconsin lake is Lake Winnebago, Lake Geneva, or, I didn't realize we did this with question 3 sometimes, the man-made pond behind Jesse Nelson's backyard.
Whoa, Nelly! That would be Lake Geneva.
That's right,
3 for 3, Joe. Well done. They're playing a lot of yacht rock at the Newport of the West, I'm assuming.
Oh, certainly.
Joe, you got all 3 right. That means you got 4 entries into Friday's drawing. Well done. Thanks for playing, buddy. We appreciate your loyalty to the show.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys. And go Badgers.
I love you guys.
How much does that cruise cost from out of Milwaukee to the southern tip of Argentina?
Oh, I did find that on Viking Ocean Cruises online, by the way, Tausch. I think it was $45,000 for the 62-day 9-country trip.
Very interesting.
Is that in your budget, old boy?
Depends. I'd have to take a long look at the itinerary.
Can you do the show from the ocean? Can you do the show from the cruise at some point? Because that would be even longer than you spent in California.
Yes, indeed. Actually, it's an interesting proposition.
I was
take
honest.
a look at it.
I was honestly thinking Jesse would take this cruise, but he would, go on it for like 3 weeks at a time, come back, work for a week, and then like catch up to wherever it is around the
I
world.
don't think that's how cruises work.
You can actually, yeah.
Once you commit, you're kind of committed.
Well, but you can leave as they stop, and then you can leave and you can come back on at later locations.
Oh, is that how it works?
I think so. Otherwise, 62 days is insane, and it would be horrible.
It's a long
2 months.
Those people cruise around the world. People, honestly, I don't know when it was, but they started looking at the cost of living, And there was a time where you could go live on a cruise ship for a year. You get food, drink, all that, and it's actually cheaper than, like, retired folks started doing that. They would sell their house and go cruise the world. And it was a more affordable way to live than what they did.
Prize Picks does a lot of projections. I don't.
Well,
if you
think I'm full of baloney?
No. Just wait. If you did a projection on a 62-day cruise of how many days I would stay on a ship, there is no way that I would make it to day 62 or 63 to get more. I would get much, much less before I'd want to go home. I could not live on a cruise ship for an entire year. Sorry.
With your whole family, you don't think you could do that?
Nope. Definitely not.
I call BS. I would bet that if they came with a partnership opportunity, your kids
for
were
the Wildies to live on a cruise ship for a year.
Yes. You'd do it in a heartbeat, just like you'd play Prize Picks in a heartbeat. The best place to get real money sports action. Over 10 million members, billions of dollars, and simple to play. More or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win, up to 1,000 times your cash. And it's the big game. The big game is almost here, and it is now or never. Don't miss out on the last football game of the season with Prize Picks, the best place to win cash while watching said big game. Prize Picks is giving away a free pick for the big game, where one of the starting quarterbacks for the big game will only need to throw for 1 yard to win. Only 1 yard. And if you're correct on at least one more stat projection, you can win real cash for the real big game. Check out the promos tab to tail any of our Super Sweat Millie winners for the big game lineups. If you tail a lineup that goes 3 for 3, you can win a split of $1 million in your promo funds for the big game. Download the app today. Use code WI to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Again, that's code WI for the big game to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks.
Run your big game.
The big game. Much better than having a big game coming up.
I will say I have been in the car a lot for the NFL playoffs, and so I've been listening on the Westwood One broadcasts that are on the NFL Sirius XM channel, and they have Jim Rome doing the Prize Picks ads. And as you were going through that, I was picturing Rome doing but saying it the way Tausch is and saying "big game" all the time. I hope I come across that.
0.5 yards for Patrick Mahomes. That's the projection.
Wow.
0.5. Feel pretty good. Old Patty Mac's going to get that done. Not for sure.
Knick-knack, Patty Mac. Do people call him Patty Mac?
I don't know.
You do.
I know he's good in big games. And there ain't no bigger game than the big game that's coming up.
Speaking of big games, I am eager to see what made it onto Whoa Wooly. Next, it's Wilde and Tausch.
Whoa, Nelly! Wilde and Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
Hey, it's Jesse Nelson from Madison Weight Loss, the program that I experienced last year from the middle of August to the middle of October. And over 60 days, I was able to drop 40 pounds of unnecessary, unwanted fat simply by changing my diet. No surgeries, no injections, no intense workout regimens. All it was the natural, healthy approach to weight loss, just changing what I eat. 40 pounds I was able to drop thanks to the team and the expert coaching and guidance with Madison Weight Loss. And now this week, my wife Becca and I are out on a cruise, and I'm feeling good, I'm living good, and it's all thanks to Madison Weight Loss. I'm able to fit into clothes I couldn't even fit into 6 years ago, the last time we went on a big tropical vacation. This is amazing, and it's all thanks to Madison Weight Loss. Schedule a free consultation in person or virtually at MadisonWeightLoss.com and see how they can help you achieve your weight loss goals. I understand the turn of the year, everyone sets their weight loss goals, and you might be already struggling to try and achieve them. Contact the team. Trust me, it really works. MadisonWeightLoss.com. Results may vary.
It's new year, new deals at Metro Ford of Madison. With 204 new vehicles in stock, Metro Ford is your home for the best selection and the biggest savings of 2025. Enjoy the 2024 Ford Escape with 1.9% APR for 66 months, $15.97 per thousand borrowed. Or get the future of driving with the 2024 Ford Mach-E at 0% APR financing for 72 months. But hurry, these deals end February 3rd. Visit Metro Ford in person or online at metrofordofmadison.com and drive off in the new Ford of your dreams today.
LabCorp Clinical Trials is changing to a new name, Fortrea. While the name may be different, Fortrea combines decades of great experience and professionalism with new opportunities for clinical trial participation. It's more than a mission and more than a new name. Fortrea is dedicated to moving healthcare forward. To learn more about the future of healthcare and upcoming clinical trials, visit us at FortreaClinicalTrials.com. That's FORTREA clinicaltrials.com.
Every event tells a story, from the first impression to the final moments. Have someone guide your guests through every chapter the way you want the story told. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With a strong presence, great voices, and an award-winning team, trust us to guide, direct, and inform your guests through all the different chapters of the day. For fun, memorable entertainment for any event, please visit us at celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
Looking for the most popular answer. What's the worst thing about Wisconsin winters? Gina Della from Pella.
Finding a sitter when snow closes school. Yay! It's the time of the year when we just want to be all warm and snuggly at home. And Pella helps make your home as beautiful on the outside as it is comfortable on the inside. With inviting doors to let friends and family in and beautiful energy-efficient windows to keep the cold out. Celebrate the new year with 0% interest for up to 3 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply.
Football season. Best time of the year and my favorite time of the year. This is ESPN Wisconsin's Brad Nortman. On game days, my favorite teammate is a cold carbless in my hand. Premium cocktails in a can made right here in the great state of Wisconsin. Maybe it's when I'm at the tailgate ahead of kickoff or getting ready at home for the game. Carbless is there. 0 sugar, 0 carbs, and gluten-free. Carbless features classic cocktails like margarita, Paloma, and even Moscow Mule, and vodka cocktail flavors like cranberry, lemon, and peach. Find it on your next grocery trip. Carbless. Less is more.
Your current car, soon to be your old car. A new car, better start looking. But you've got this, just like Associated Bank's got you with free credit score and score monitoring on most new consumer checking accounts. Because when you know you need to make a big purchase, knowing your credit score puts you in the driver's seat. You've got this with free credit monitor from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
The 2025 NFL Draft on ESPN Radio.
The NFL Draft is now underway.
Live from historic Lambeau Field in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
With the first pick.
Thursday, April 24th on ESPN Radio, ESPN, and on ABC.
Pipe Jim chiming in on the private talk and text line to inform me Lake Geneva is called Newport of the West because of all the large houses, just like Newport, Rhode Island.
Yes.
So I learned something new today.
I would have thought Newport Beach out in Cali.
Right, that's what I was thinking. But I was wrong.
It's a little too literal. I mean, come on. Stretch your imagination, Tausch.
Okay. I will.
Wow, bold. Let's see how bold Whoa Wooly is.
If the topic is good, the guys discuss.
Just the other morning I had breakfast at Tracy Rocca's house. His mama brought out 15 flapjacks. He said, Mama, take back 5 of them flapjacks. I gotta stay hungry for the Crimson Tide.
But if it's not, the show must go on. It's time for
Whoa Nelly
on Wilde and Tausch.
Yeah, Jason, I might be bold calling out Tausch for his lack of imagination, but I'm nowhere near as bold as former Badgers head coach Brett Bielema just going after Jim Harbaugh on Twitter, guys. I mean, to catch everybody up on this if they're not aware, so there was some new information that came out in the Michigan Connor Stalions sign stealing allegation yesterday. Yesterday, Michigan had a 137-page response that Yahoo Sports obtained. This was a response to the NCAA about some of the deleted text from Sharon Moore, the sign stealing allegation from Connor Stallions, and Michigan admitted that there were some impermissible in-person scouting events that occurred, though quote-unquote less than the NCAA claims. So admitting they cheated, just not as much as you guys said we did. Well, because of that, there's plenty of sound bites of Jim Harbaugh from back in the day on Twitter. One of them saying that if you cheat to win, then you've already lost. Brett Bielema, now the head coach at Illinois, finding that on Twitter and quote tweeting it saying, "Really? ... Why did you leave? Was looking forward to playing, but understand why you ran to the NFL. See you in the future. Can't wait. Fam Illy, #ILL." Is Brett Bielema, is he going after Jim Harbaugh? Is this petty? Is this just him trying to promote his own self-image? Is this how he promotes Illinois? What's the reason for just going after Jim Harbaugh after, they played against each other a decade ago? Jason?
Yeah, I don't get it. I am obviously not a big Brett Bielema fan. I wouldn't have seen this because I have been blocked by him on Twitter for his #karma, or I believe that was Jen that actually started that hashtag. Again, I don't understand why you pick this fight necessarily. Is it because you rile up your fan base? I mean, if that's what he's looking to do, it works, right? I mean, I'm sure Illinois fans love it. But between that and what he did in the bowl game, he's a pot stirrer, it would appear. And he relishes that role.
He's an instigator, and it's what he's being authentically Brett Bielema. And you don't have to love him. Michigan does have a lot to answer for if all of this reporting is true. And the bottom line is we saw it, knew it was happening in real time, and they didn't do anything about it. Like I said, they wouldn't. And this is the NCAA not having a leg to stand on as far as enforcing anything. So I'm not sure what is going to come of this. What, are you going to take away Harbaugh's national championship? I'm pretty sure he's going to still have all those memories and have that championship in his mind. So I kind of get sick of all of that. When all of it's said and done, you're going to end up punishing people that aren't even there.
Yep.
I don't love it.
What you said he's being Brett Bielema. Obviously, I heard a few or maybe many stories about him during his time as the Badgers coach, but I don't remember him being an instigator to this level then.
He went for 2 when he was up by 70 points.
That was toward the end of his tenure, right? Wasn't that toward the end in one of the Big Ten championship games? I don't feel like he had
against Minnesota. No, it was a game against Minnesota.
I don't feel like he had a track record of being. And then I believe his excuse for that was the card said to go for 2, the chart. But was he like this all the time, or has he grown more bombastic in recent years? It feels like it's ratcheted up.
I don't know. I think Brett Bielema is one of those guys that I think you like and appreciate when he's on your side, and you probably don't like when it's the other way.
Oh.
I know watching the game when we beat Illinois on the tackle-eligible touchdown at the end of the game, Nolan Rucci, it was fun to watch because he was not a happy camper on that sideline the whole game. Brett is Brett. Brett is Brett.
We'll never forget you, Bert. Whoa, Nelly.
Whoa, Nelly.
I will say, I think the one difference between Brett when he was Wisconsin head coach versus now is I don't think maybe he just didn't have Twitter back then, if I had to guess, or he wasn't as active.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think Twitter's just a bigger thing, and now he's just out there more than he used to be. All right, well, and speaking of Twitter, and speaking of things that are out there, so Pitt football, the ACC schedule for the 2025 season got released on Monday. And Pitt, every team does their social media release of their team schedule.
Yeah.
So Pittsburgh football decided that their release would be to have every opponent on their schedule as a pizza. So a video of a pizza with some things that essentially define what that opponent is made up of Well, for their game against the Syracuse Orange, would you like to know what was on this pizza?
Orange Crush.
Pineapple.
Incorrect and incorrect. Orange chicken, fried rice, and oranges. Now, guys, I don't know if I'm gross, but I want to try this pizza, and I think it would be delicious.
What's the sauce?
I can't quite tell. There does appear to be cheese on it, which is a little disconcerting, especially with oranges.
Can I just say, this is an incredibly dumb idea.
Is it a dumb topic or a dumb idea?
No, this idea of making a pizza about your team, unless you're... The Tennessee Titans got everything started with that fun video, and the Chargers are really good at it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now everybody's trying to do something different.
Ooh.
You're being kind of phony baloney-ish. I get it. You're
This is
trying to
jump the
keep up
shark.
and it's gotten old real quick.
Do you guys want to
I
know?
don't need... Go ahead.
Do you guys want to know what's on the pizza for their game against Florida State?
No.
The Knoll, they call it? No?
Not really.
Wisconsin's not on their schedule, right? I would have been curious to know what they would have been.
They will be in 2027. They play in Ireland. They open the season in Dublin.
Aaron go Bragg.
Bragg? I don't know if you pronounce the G. But
It's
maybe.
like Yama? Silent?
I don't know. We'll have to ask your Irish pirate how to pronounce that correctly. Wooly, I don't want to rain on your pizza parade.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I think we've lost interest in this one.
All right.
Whoa, Wooly.
Well, what would the Badgers, if Pittsburgh was doing it with the Badgers on their schedule, what pizza are
I was going to ask that, too.
It would just be like 12 different types of cheese, right? That would be the joke they would try to make. It's the obvious joke.
That's more Packer. I think that's more Packer.
Oh, could I throw one out there?
No.
Yeah, go ahead.
Couldn't it just be cheese curds and ranch? I feel like that's pretty Wisconsin. Like, I think Madison, honestly, that feels Madison to me. And maybe a spotted cow. I don't know. Maybe it's like beer batter. Beer batter
cow
pizza.
Sauce. Oh. Yeah. Look, again, can we move on?
They also play Notre Dame this year, guys. The Shamrock Pizza.
Aaron go Bragg.
Aaron go Bragg.
Aaron go Bragg.
Banger sausage, mashed potatoes, and Irish sauce. Whatever Irish sauce
I would have
is.
thought Lucky Charms.
Yeah.
They're magically delicious. Could we please stop with this and do a different topic?
Aaron go Bragg. Yeah. Aaron go Bragg.
All I have is more pizza for you. I got nothing left.
Okay. I didn't think Whoa Nelly could be worse when someone else did it.
Yeah, we passed the bar. Jesse,
Really?
get home. Jesse, we need you.
Wait till tomorrow.
It all started out with Wooly taking a shot at me. I don't think that was
Yeah.
a great move. And
I
then
wouldn't do
Well,
that.
fair.
I know I don't mind taking it if it's a good. I don't fully understand where we were going with the pizza, but it did get me to. We need this. The social media sites. Be who you are. Don't try to replicate the Chargers and the Titans. That's what I learned from this whole exchange.
Avid listener to the program, Tom Oates, columnist emeritus of the Wisconsin State Journal, who I don't know if he was
Gotta have
listening.
a brat. You gotta have a brat
yeah.
on this pizza. Like that is that is for sure, and a cheese curd.
Yeah.
I would say both of those have to be staples, not 12 different cheeses. What are you going to put, like a pecorino and all the? I'm trying to think of real artsy cheeses.
Is pecorino a type of cheese? That sounds like
It's
sausage.
a very artsy cheese, yes.
Gouda?
Ricotta?
All right. I thought we said we were done with this, and then you resuscitated it.
Must be a good
Yeah,
I
time.
got to
I
put a
don't know.
brat on there.
Well, you need to have a brat on the pizza. That's what it would be.
All right. Clearly, somebody is going to have to put an end to it, and I'm just the person to
What
do
did
it.
Oatsy have to say? I'm always wondering what Oatsy's got.
So Oatsy, who I assume was not listening yesterday when I retold the Opryland Hotel travel story, is listening today. And Bielema's going for two that you referenced against Minnesota contentious relationship with Tim Brewster.
Yeah,
and so I believe that was personal. Yeah,
yep.
I believe that was very personal.
You made it sound like he didn't do anything that was like pot stirry or jerk storish.
I don't think that there were very many instances of that, but I think Woolie's point before we got into the Pittsburgh schedule with pizzas, do they play Louisville?
They do. They sure do.
But we're not going there because we're a Pizza Hut show.
What would Louisville put on there? A cardinal? You don't want cardinal on your pizza.
I believe that at least at one time,
wooden bat chunks?
They were sponsored by another pizza delivery.
Yes.
Oh, that guy's a jerk.
A guy that stiffed you at the Super Bowl.
Snubbed us. Schnatner.
No pizza for Tausch.
Oh.
No, I've always been a Pizza Hut guy.
There you go.
It's a blank off Schnatner.
Okay. If you are also a Coors Light guy, and if you could remind us again how much you love it.
Cold processed, cold lager, cold filtered, and it is cold packaged, so it's made to chill. Born in the Rocky Mountains of Colorado in 1978, Coors Light, refreshing, crisp, 102 calories. That's why it is Coors Light in my hand when I need a moment to chill. Celebrate responsibly, Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
We'll wrap things up next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com. Rah! Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute brought to you by the Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company, Madison's home for craft beer and pub food since 1994. Find the Great Dane nearest you and check out the menu at GreatDanePub.com. Not one, but two. Former Badger linebackers Zach Bond and Leo Chanel will be in the big game in the Big Easy. No matter who comes out as the victor, Barry Alvarez calls this a win for the Wisconsin program.
Those are our guys, and I love when you have Wisconsin players out on the field representing us and playing in the big time like that. That's impressive, and it's an added interest for me, and I'm sure for a lot of fans. When you have a Badger right in the mix, it even makes it more interesting.
The Great Dane Huddle with Barry Alvarez, streaming Monday nights at 6 on ESPN Madison's YouTube channel.
Pella can make your home as beautiful on the outside as it is comfortable on the inside. Celebrate the new year with 0% interest for up to 3 years at PellaWI.com.
Mark Tauscher here for Kohler Services. If you've been putting off your bath or shower remodel, now is the time to turn to Kohler Services. Family owned for 150 years, Kohler is your Wisconsin manufacturer providing care for life. And this month only, get $1,000 off your Lugstone shower remodel and no payment financing until 2026. Visit KohlerServicesWI.com to request your free quote with fast professional installation always included. That's KohlerServicesWI.com.
Ben Brust here to tell you about why your next work van should be from Mercedes-Benz Sprinter at Zimbrick European. First off, we have versatility. The Sprinter vans offer 16 body types and thousands of ways to customize that space. Number 2, we have reliability. Sprinter's most powerful diesel engines last longer and require less maintenance, spend more time on the road and less time in those bays. Number 3, we have safety. Sprinter's safety technologies include curtain airbags all around, load adaptive electronic stability program, and crosswind and attention assist. Number 4, Van Care Mobile. Our maintenance team can come to you with routine service. Who wants to go in? Let them come to you. They work with multiple trucks on one visit. Use the Mercedes Me Connect. And last but not least, get your Zimbrick Sprinter at Zimbrick European at Rimrock Road and the Beltline, or go online at ZimbrickEuropean.com because they never charge over the MSRP. Ben Brust here to tell you about the Princeton Club. I joined the Princeton Club because I was looking for a place I could invest in my health, and the environment and the community I have felt has made it so easy for me to incorporate it into my everyday life. It doesn't matter where you're at in your fitness journey because they have something to offer everyone. It also goes beyond fitness. From the moment you walk in the club to the moment you walk out, there is a togetherness felt throughout the members and staff that keeps you going for your better tomorrow. Don't wait any longer and get started on your fitness journey today at PrincetonClub.net. That's PrincetonClub.net.
Purchase your tickets, grab some friends, and get to the Sylvie on Monday, February 24th for Andy North Trivia Night, presented by Exact Sciences. Enjoy a fun and inspiring evening of trivia, music, food, and refreshments while helping to raise money for UW Carbone Cancer Center. This fun and inspiring event is hosted by Andy North, and in addition to the trivia, the lineup includes a silent auction, celebrity appearances, and prizes. Doors open at 6 p.m. Visit AndyNorthandFriends.com to buy your tickets. Past year's events have sold out quickly, so get your tickets today.
The Elder Care Locator is here to help you live your best life as you age at home. Our call center advisors are ready to connect you with trustworthy local experts. Help is just a phone call away at 1-800-677-1116.
All day, every day, the Carbless Talk and Text line is open for you. 844-770-3776. The Carbless Talk and Text line. This is more.
This is Madison's new home of Milwaukee Brewers baseball.
Churio, a high fly ball. Back, track, bye, baseball!
100.5 ESPN, your new home of the Milwaukee Brewers.
Take my heart, don't break it. Love me to my bones. All this time I wasted.
Quick behind the scenes of Wilde and Tausch. During the commercial break, Wooly was still going through the pizzas from this schedule.
Some of them, guys, they sound good. All right, here. The Game 8 against NC State. It's called the Wolf Pizza. Pulled pork, bacon, Carolina barbecue sauce. You're not destroying that?
Okay, and what's the Boston College one?
So the Boston College one, a little controversial. It's the Bostonian. That's with lobster, roasted peppers, and garlic butter on what is definitely a cheese and sauce-based pizza.
That sounds good, too.
No, I don't want the peppers,
Sounds
though.
good.
I need to know what the sauce is. All right, we're over time because we spent so much time on these pizzas. Perhaps Pizza Hut will try making them all for us as a Pizza Hut show.
Nobody out-pizzas the Hut.
That's what I've heard, except for maybe Wooly, who out-pizzaed all of us to end the show. We'll do it again tomorrow. Have a great day. Take care. Be good.
Miss any of today's episode of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin? Commercial-free full show podcasts are available free on Wisconsin On Demand.
Mark Tauscher here to tell you a little bit more about Everlight Solar. We all know that electricity costs are on the rise. That's why you need to talk to my friends over at Everlight Solar. Their local team here in Madison is here to keep it simple. From your no-cost consultation to solar panel installation, the team at Everlight Solar will be with you every step of the way. Not only will they help you save money, but by switching to solar, you're also helping save the planet. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Check them out at everlightsolar.com.
This is Monte Ball.
Monte steps to the right, dashes, reaches, touchdown.
You listen to 100.5 ESPN WTLX Monona, Madison.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good afternoon, Madison. I'm Ryan Wollersheim, and this is your Sports Center Update brought to you by Stoughton Health, providing experienced physicians, nurses, therapists, technicians, and staff for personalized, forward-thinking, expert healthcare, trusted care close to home. And the Milwaukee Bucks, in their third road game in 4 nights, losing to the Portland Trail Blazers last night, 125-112 out in the Emerald City. Giannis Antetokounmpo putting up 39 points and 12 rebounds, actually scoring 16 points in the first quarter without missing a field goal, but Bucks squander a 12-point first-half lead and fall for their second time in the last 3 games. Bucks will finish up their current Western Conference road trip on Friday night when they take on the San Antonio Spurs. Now, some positive Milwaukee basketball news is Marquette managed to outlast Butler last night, 78-69 on the road. Marquette trailing 7 points at halftime, but able to overcome those Bulldogs. Marquette will be hosting some other dogs. Number 25, UConn at the Pfizer Forum this Saturday, 7 p.m. tip-off. And then tonight, Wisconsin men's basketball plays Maryland on the road, 6 p.m. tip-off. Badgers 5-point.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of